And we're live.
And welcome to Dreams of Dragons. This week, once again, with the full cast. Welcome back, everybody. We're playing in a game of Ryuutama, which is lovely and wholesome, unless you're trying to figure out who's related to who. And then you get angry, which is fine. We're going to start with the admin, as usual, while my players stare at me. My first sponsor is my favorite sponsor, and it's Tabletop Loot, because they sell dice. They also sell other merch. Dice are more important. You always need more dice. Shiny, beautiful, mathy, click-clack rocks. Be mindful of shipping times in these trying times, but still, buy dice. They're amazing. In addition to dice, you need clothes. I'm currently not wearing a lot of them because it's freaking warm here, but if you need more clothes to adorn your fabulous body, please go to So Nerdwear, where Matty and his merch shop have everything you need for nerdy clothes and for Welcome to the Party merch. Don't forget to use the code WELCOME to get 10% off of your purchase, which reminds me, don't forget to use the code WTTPDICE to get 15% off at Tabletop Loot, so you're getting more dice. We are using Roll20, which I'm using to share music with my players and maps, and in some cases, roll dice that determine the conditions and checks of our lovely characters that, occasionally end well. Sometimes not so much. All valid options. It's, again, the luck of the dice. There's a reason that's a saying. And finally, we have Devin Rue, who does cartography and makes her maps onto all kinds of awesome stuff. There's actual cards, there's blankets, there's leather dice holders, which somehow I always relate back to dice. I think this is going to be a problem at some point in my life. Don't forget to check her out on ruinc.com. And then we have our very own Patreon, where you can help support this channel. Make more fun content with fun people of all shapes, sizes, colors, and orientations. I mean, they even let heterosexuals play on this channel. I feel honored. It's a rare thing sometimes. And in addition to the Patreon, if you just want to come and hang out with us, we also have a Discord channel. Every show has its own little channel on there as well, where in the case of Ryuutama we have maps and bloodlines and memes from, once again, confused players. Which brings us to the next part, a short hello to our players, and then a quick recap, and then back into the game, which is going to be fun, fun, fun. Said DM, who prepared nothing. We are starting on my right, which is Angela.
Hello there, everybody. I'm Angela, otherwise known as Phoenix in a lot of these different spaces, and I'm going to be playing Hana, the spring magic herbological healer, who's looking for a dear friend. Some people in other circles might refer to her as potentially a gal pal, but we'll see what happens with that.
Who knows? You've been apart for a long time. Let's see. Moving on. Inez.
Hi there, friends. It's me, Inez. Today, as always, I will be playing Lily Two Forest, who uses she, her pronouns, and is a technical type hunter, mother, also very confused and angry person who loves you dearly.
Uh-huh. Of course you do. Lana.
Make sure I'm actually unmuted. I am back to play Fern, the very sweet but not smart artisan. She has great talent for crocheting, not great talent for just intelligently thinking about things. But you know what? Not everyone needs a filter. She is traveling with Clover, the tiny goat who thinks Black Lives Matter, and has a huge crochet hook with which to knit things. This hat and wig are very warm. I'm going to see how long I'm going to keep them on.
Yep. I feel you. All right. Alex.
Hi there, I'm Alex. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing the Winter Magic Merchant who uses she, her pronouns.
All right. Thank you very much. And Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I'm playing Waden, our young, noble fighting type, who also, we both use he, him pronouns.
Thank you very much. My name is Anik. I play Ayomi, this game's Ryujin. The party has met me once in the shape of an adorable little hedgehog. And I'm also the storyteller. I use she, her pronouns, Ayomi. Who knows? The party certainly doesn't. Waden, our journaler, would you like to give a brief recap of last time?
Yes.
I need one.
Yes,
Friend's very
especially
confused
for
today. She's a little
Lana's
dehydrated.
benefit. So, after a generous breakfast in a small farming village, and catching up with my friends, we learned a bit more about this next leg of our journey. Lily confided in me that she is on a confidential royal mission for her queen and is seeking out a lost heir. She has very little to go off of, but knows that she is looking for a farmer named Caitlin. I'm unsure if it's a matter of fate or coincidence, but the farmer here who runs this small village happens to be named Caitlin as well. Lily attempted to explain her mission to Caitlin and inform her that there is a likelihood that she has a royal lineage. Caitlin seemed resistant to the idea, particularly the idea that she would be expected to leave her village and the only life she had known. And as Lily pressed further, it only seemed to irritate Caitlin more until they reached an impasse. Caitlin was not interested or did not believe that she was the person Lily was looking for, and Lily knew with conviction that she must be here to find this Caitlin. We took time to regroup and loop the rest of the party in on what was happening, as well as calm Lily, for the conversation had left her rather worked up. As it was explained by Lily, her queen, Alexandria Hopesinger, comes from a long line of queens in a government ruled by women of royal blood. Queen Alexandria has 3 children, but they are all sons, leaving her with no legitimate heir. In a desperate effort to secure an heir to the Hopesinger line, they have traced Alexandria's lineage back to her great-grandmother, Queen Kayla Hopesinger, who is alleged to have given birth to an illegitimate child that was written out of the family's history. According to Lily, it is believed that this Caitlin she has been sent looking for is the great-granddaughter of Kayla Hopesinger, which would make her half-sister to Queen Alexandria and Caitlin's daughter Brya the sole female heir of the Hopesinger line. At least, that's as well as we understand thus far. With our affairs in order, we tried once again to talk with Lady Caitlin, and this time I offered my services as a diplomat and mediator for Lily. While I was not able to convince Caitlin to budge on the matter of accepting her lineage at our word alone, I was able, with the help of Hannah, to find out about Caitlin's Aunt Madeline, who she says keeps more detailed record of her family's history, and could be the connection we need to find the Hopesinger's missing heir. We rented some of the manatee creatures from the farm to pull the barge downriver, and made way to the shore in the direction of Aunt Madeline. I thought I would be distancing myself from Ryuutama by leaving Castle Rayford, but the mystery is certainly exciting, and I hate to admit it, but those classes on genealogy have been more useful in the past 12 hours than I ever thought they would be in my life.
Thank you for this very accurate recap.
The way you explained it made it way more, like, made it sound like I was like, boonk.
I did my best to clarify as much as possible of what happened.
It was amazing.
It's very much
Tried to streamline that
that's
information.
What they meant.
It feels very much like it was the most gentle way of just saying, you didn't understand what was going on. Here, let me try and explain it so that maybe all of us understand what's going on.
So you mean he mansplained it and it was actually useful?
Yes, the mail was helpful.
I wouldn't put it that way. I think
No.
it was a collaborative effort.
She asked for help. Mansplaining is always unsolicited.
There we go.
I made sure it was solicited.
This was just the YouTube video, like royal lineage
the recap.
explained.
Yeah.
I want to make so many jokes about what Lily solicited from Waden now. We should be
Oh,
moving
no.
on before I get going.
Wholesome game.
Alright, so for this game, I chose a different benediction, which means you will not be working with heart points. So you don't look at me like that. I only have 3 benedictions.
We gotta mix it up, keep it interesting.
Hmm?
I was just looking forward to spreading cheer and goodwill to all of us, which makes me think either Aomi will be spreading good cheer to all of us in a really wonderful way, or Anika's planning things. Both are interesting for different reasons.
Okay, if I hint at you that one of the benedictions I chose is the tale of kindness, does that suggest where we're going this week?
I have a lot
sounds
of faith in your abilities, Anik.
I will say that doesn't necessarily mean I'm the one who has to be kind.
That's exactly why I said I have faith in your abilities. That was not in a positive or negative direction. That is simply a statement of fact.
It will be absolutely perfectly fine. One more little admin thingy. Fern, you get to retroactively roll your own condition check from last time because I watched it for you.
As you were me, I am
so
willing
I'm
to
giving
take
you.
it.
No, you can try and do better.
Okay. So just what do I roll again? I'm sorry, I'm never going to get this.
You are rolling. Let me check for you because I don't want to say it wrong either.
Condition is strength
Condition
spirit, right?
is strength spirit.
Yeah.
Strength spirits. Let me see. I'm going to take my deep sea gold dice to try. Well, that's good. That's 14.
Oh wow! So you could have upgraded one of your dice. Slightly
yeah.
moot points because you just went to bed, but at least you don't wake up with half health because that's what I rolled for you.
Okay. Oh, 14!
Yay! Alright. So we left our little group camping late at night, if I remember correctly. With the manatees basically singing you to sleep.
Amazing.
Alright, that was the other thing that Fern wasn't able to see. You didn't get to see me acting as all of the manatees throughout the entire episode.
Yes.
So I've taken on animal duty apparently because that is something I'm good at.
I will point out it was Fern's genius plan to actually rent a manatee to pull the barge so you could take Juniper's cart rather than
just riding them.
riding them and wondering how you're going to carry many gold pieces worth of woven goods around.
Hey, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly.
It's true.
I would
You
just
had a
gone with
really good
Galaxy
idea.
Rain.
Were there any watches during the night? I know you used the alarm spell at least. You dropped the barge people off back at their landing spot, so it's just you and your manatees.
And the crow.
Crap, I just stepped on
And
the dog.
Sven. And Clover. Does the
I'm
crow
con-
have a- I forget.
Yes.
I think last time Juniper did not sit a watch because she was like, "It'll be fine," and I was right. But this time I think I will stay up and keep an eye on the manatees and make sure they don't wander away because they're pretty cute.
You also didn't horrendously fail your condition check this time, so you might feel a little better staying awake anyway.
Yeah.
I believe the crow had a very stereotypical name. Hugin, was it? Hugin? Which one did you pick?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if we ever officially decided on one.
It's
not-
I know it's somewhere in Waden's journal, so you can always check with the record keeper what you named your animal.
Oh no. That's the face of someone like, why am I being called to be
Let me scroll back up through my journal.
This is too much responsibility on a Monday.
Control F. Crow.
Was it a raven? I think it was a raven,
Oh,
right?
It was
I think
crow,
it's.
right?
We are
trying
a
to remember.
well-oiled machine on this channel.
Was it not?
Especially during this
I've got it
game.
written
We are
down
professional.
somewhere. It
Honestly,
says
this-
Raven. It is a Raven.
It is a
Yes.
raven, see?
Big
I
old
remembered
crow.
something. I get bonus points, which are useless when you're the DM.
I mean, yes, it is a raven, but was it not called Nevermore or
I
something?
think it was Hugin or something.
That would make
Going
also
back to
like
our
how-
watch.
At some point they went, oh, Chet named the elk, and I was like, I was Chet. Thank you.
You
All
thought,
elk
you
need
thought
to
it
be
was
called
Chad, but it was me, Anik, the whole time.
Hey, I am everywhere at all times. Alright, so while you're contemplating renaming your raven, which is also sometimes a crow, Juniper's having a watch. Is everyone else asleep? What are you doing?
I would say to Juniper, if you want me to take a watch, I could certainly take that off her shoulders as well, so you can sleep a little more.
I would also volunteer for a shift if we need that.
Okay.
Ern will
More than happy to
also
help.
volunteer if need be.
Yeah, I
So
think
everyone gets a little more sleep.
3 watches worked pretty well last time, or so you guys said. I was asleep the whole time, but that seems pretty fair. Get a couple of people a good night's sleep.
No one got eaten or taken, so that's pretty effective night.
That's our standard for a good watch. No one is dead, and no one is
Yeah.
gone.
That's
Yep.
good
Exactly.
enough.
Everything else you can deal with.
Mhm.
Alright, so Juniper has the first watch.
I actually, if there are gonna be only 3 watches, I go, hey, Juniper, should I take watch with you? 2-person watch?
Oh, that sounds nice. Sure.
Good. And so I'll just go sit somewhere, I don't know, not really next to Juniper, but somewhere on a tree trunk or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Socially
just-
distant watching.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does anything happen? Is there anything that is, well, the I think the manatees are singing, right?
They
Oh, yeah.
are. It's very. It was a little more. Right now, it's more like a humming. Like the singing is more when they're awake, and then when they fall asleep, it becomes a little softer and a little quieter. But they're not silent. So they're in
Nice.
between with the frogs and everything else you hear. I consider downloading Whale Song, but I'm sure I'm going to get put on some kind of yoga watch list if I do that. So.
I can adequately cover you on that front, however much you would like.
I mean, I did cast Angela as Manatee 1 through 4, so.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
There you go.
Cute.
Also,
They're bobbing up and down in the water a little bit.
Occasionally, like it's very soothing, and I imagine that occasionally there's just one very loud.
yeah.
It's like it's a beautiful crescendo, and then
There's always
Yes.
that one,
Paul, you're off key. It's like I know I've been practicing, but they always give you
Oh
the
my
wrong
God.
part.
This makes me think of,
At least they're off key and they don't have upset tummies.
it makes me think of Shrek when the when the Frog King dies and all the frogs go and sing "Live or Let Die," "Live and Let Die."
Be accurate.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. That's good. Okay,
Also,
cool.
having just downloaded a Whale Song, this is not soothing at all. I'm gonna retcon. It doesn't sound like Whale Song. This is awful. This is the worst.
Much better
You
than
said,
Whale
"Oh
Song.
my god, no."
So much
See,
better.
this
We're not
is-
doing Whale Song.
This is why just let me handle that part.
You
Don't worry.
just do
Live and
that.
Let Die.
All yours. All yours. Okay, so
Yeah.
are you sitting in companionable silence? Is there any kind of conversation you have?
What's
Um,
the
sometime
area
alone.
around us look like again?
You're just getting out of the mangrove, and it's getting a little more towards the actual sea. So currently they're quiet, but during the day you could already hear the seagulls. There's considerably more wind. You're
Nice.
heading towards basically this area, but you're not. You're like a few hours away from actual coastline.
Uh-huh. So I think Juniper is saying to Lily, have you ever seen the ocean? I've never been. I hear it's like really big.
I've seen it once, but from a far away distance.
Oh,
Not that close. I'm not. I hunt, but I don't really fish. So
right. The fishing of the sea, or the
Mhm.
hunting of the sea.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah. So yeah, I've seen it once. It is big. It goes as far as you can look, basically.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's scary.
I grew up, around lots of mountains and trees, so being able to see just really far out all the way to the horizon is a weird experience for me. Being in the grassland was just like, whoa, it's mostly flat, kind of rolly, but just like no big anything anywhere.
hmm Yeah, yeah. I understand. That's I have the same thing with the forest. Well, with the forest, I couldn't really see the horizons, but when I would go hunting in the grasslands, I would from time to time,
Hmm.
and that's nice sometimes.
Yeah, the world is just so different out here.
It is. It
It's
is.
it's neat getting to see more of it.
Yeah, it is. And I'm glad we're on a journey together and not
Yeah.
alone this time.
Oof. Yes. Traveling alone was too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
wasn't
is.
all the way alone. I'm like petting my raven who's on my shoulder.
How
But
did you how did you come by that raven, actually?
oh, I think I got him as a birthday present. One of my friends lives over in the town whose name that I definitely remember, Ravenholm. Yeah, that's what it's called. Uh, one of our four little towns around our area, and I think they sort of breed the ravens over there. Like they're really smart, so they make sure and like give them little tests and stuff to make sure they get the smartest ravens for trading for people to have as pets. And my friend gave me a raven for my birthday, and it was really neat. So I've had going with Hugin. Since then it's been a couple of years.
That's awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like him.
glad that I'm glad that he wanted to come with me on my journey. Ravens
Yeah.
Run is the name of the town. Yep.
There we go.
You don't go to Ravenholm.
Mm, Well, that's super cool. I never really had pets growing up. No, I
Mostly
did.
just with the hunting the animals.
Yeah, I guess that plays a role. I guess. Well, my parents didn't really hunt. It was me
Oh.
who really started that. Um,
Uh-huh. What did they do?
well, my dad was in the army most of his time.
Mm.
Um, I did grow up in Zuckerwald, and so did he. And so he was in the army. And my mother did baking. She had a bakery.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, so she was kind of doing all kinds of cakes and stuff, and I would um, become uh, very big as a kid very fast.
Yeah, that's
which
great.
wasn't, which, oh yeah, I guess it was good. But then later in life, I decided to get myself together, really get that workout going. And then
Mm-hmm.
I guess I did the hunting because I liked animals, but also eating them was cool, and providing for my family was really cool. It
Yeah,
was
that's neat.
yeah,
It's really
it was
cool that you
just
can just go out into the wilderness and like find stuff there.
yeah. I mean, of course, I I only hunt the animals that aren't really endangered or
Hmm.
don't really need to be hunted. So I'll only hunt like a couple times a week, not that often.
Hmm.
Um, I don't want to make the ecosystem in the forest any different than that it already is.
That
Um,
makes sense. That's
yeah.
nice.
So I do take from the forest sometimes, but I also give back. I make sure that the animals around the forest do get like proper food and stuff, and sometimes I feed some animals out there, and the ones that I don't really hunt. So um, yeah.
Did
That's,
you learn any baking from your mom? You could. Oof, I haven't had a good baking in a while, and that would be nice.
I do have some recipes at home, but I don't really can't really just like out of my mind. I can't really create something which
Right.
is
You
just the
wouldn't want to
best
get the
at.
times wrong or something, and then it ends up like, oh,
Yeah, exactly. Or like wrong ingredients or whatever, which my mom, she was like, I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how many eggs I need, how much sugar I need. And she didn't even need a scale. She could just throw it together and just
wow.
do it. And it
Ooh,
was crazy. She's crazy.
that's really impressive.
Yeah. And yeah. So I have some of her recipes at home, but yeah, that's it really. I didn't really take over that kind of brain
Hmm.
capacity.
Right.
Hmm.
Well, maybe if we ever stop by there, we could try some out. You could hunt a deer and make a venison pie or something.
Oh, that's a good idea actually. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry thinking about it.
Yeah, I would love to bring you all through my through my hometown.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Maybe we'll stop by sometime.
Yeah, I'd like to see a big city like that. That sounds really exciting.
Hmm. It is kind of exciting. It's cool.
Okay, I think we must be getting to the end of this watch by now, right?
I guess so. I hope so. Um.
It probably went like half an hour over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Nice. So I'll get up and I'll wake up the next person. Shift.
So Waden appreciates the extra half hour of sleep for sure.
All right,
Oh.
good night, Wade, and thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Night, Lily.
Wait, and are you watching alone?
We, if we're doing 3 watches, I think so, because then Fern
Yeah.
will be next. Yeah. So Waden will stay up by himself, and this is probably the point where he would take out his journal and write down all of those things that we went over earlier, and
Yeah.
just kind of ruminate on the day, make sure he got all the details right and things, and then just kind of enjoying the whales, the manatee song, as kind of like a
The
nice
whale
backdrop, as a nice backdrop, um, and try to find some like. He's not one to meditate, but he does like to find some like peaceful moments in the day where he can just kind of think, organize his thoughts, kind of center himself, because a lot of this is still very new to him, and he's taking it all in stride, but just to kind of avoid getting too overwhelmed, he tries to find little moments throughout the day to just kind of recenter and focus and kind of understand everything that's going on.
Wait, you have a pretty peaceful watch. I believe Fern is next up. But before we go to Fern's watch, I would like to ask the one person who gets to sleep through the night. After the past few days, Hannah, what are your dreams like?
Only slightly trepidatious about saying because the last time someone was asked about their dreams, we had a giant tree grow in our camp. But,
Surprise, the grass dragon followed you all this way. No.
Oh,
secretly, we accidentally left one raspberry on our cart, and he's just been following the whole time to get after it. But no, I like to think. I like to think, given the conversation that she had with Caitlin very quickly, and getting mention of, let me just double check check my notes of knowing that if she were to go to Windsweep, east side of the mountains before going north, she would be able to head to Flower Bedford. I think she probably has, with the conversation she's had over the past few days and getting to think during the journey a little bit more about both her husband and her friend. I think she would use that word. I would not as a player, but she's very shy about using any other word besides friend around that. I think she would try and remember different things. I think she would just be reflecting on a lot of different moments from her past with both her husband and her, and the like very scant occasions in which all three of them got to be together that were like years separated apart, and then eventually into the pen pal thing when just travel was a little bit harder. Very pleasant like dreams, I think. Like very, very just cute, like bittersweet reflections of her once partner Akia, and then just thinking about Azuka, and one of those like very sweet like snapshot moving through the fields of flowers kinds of moments of just like seeing her like go through it and just like looking back at her, and I'm like, I do really love her, but I don't know what that word means in this context. She doesn't know how to process that.
A very peaceful night for you as well. Layden, you get to wake up Fern for her last watch of the night.
Yeah, very, very gently, I will kind of wake Fern up and just hope you slept well. I'm gonna try to get just another hour or so, and I think the sun will be up soon. So everything's been pretty calm tonight. So
I'll be fine. Thank you. Good night.
yeah, thanks. Good night. I'll tuck into all my comfy blankets and pillows and everything that I packed.
The pile.
Yeah, Layden still does not travel light.
Yeah, he has a little nest of like bedding and everything that he stuffs in his tent.
As we are currently living with the manatee creatures, we probably have like a lot of cabbages and lettuces with us to feed them.
Funny you should ask. No one mentioned buying supplies to feed the manatees when you left.
Yeah.
I did last week. I was there. I did. Because Fern thought it was really fun feeding them. I talked about it with the kid.
That's
So
true.
I wouldn't have left without some cabbages because, I got to feed them. This is in character.
That is a very Fern thing.
I was about to make you make a perception check to watch as the manatees slowly started drifting away, looking for food.
But Fern would have bought them.
You can't even say that's not a Fern thing. Like
Because she actually wants to feed them.
Even
You
us trying to
you did actually get into the water with the people to
Yeah!
feed the manatees because you thought their slobbering was adorable.
It was so much fun.
I will let you retcon that you thought of bringing enough cabbages to feed the manatees, in which case the party does owe the universe some gold. Because that is not included in rental.
That is okay.
Usually the manatees only day trip.
How much does it cost?
That is a very good question. I will look it up for you. In the table of trade goods.
Most holy of tables to be consulted in moments of dire.
Truly, this table is life.
Can I count one of the manatees as one of my 3 free animals that I provide food for automatically as a merchant?
You know what? Why not?
She just generates it.
You get 1 free manatee.
And you get an extra side of raven with your meal.
At least you only have 2 animals with you, so I'll let you like rent 1 animal for free. But if you ever go over 3 animals, one of them's probably gonna eat the raven.
Oh no!
Let's see. I mean, rations are 10 gold for a size 1. You have 3 pretty big freaking manatees.
Yeah, but they don't eat
But
like
one
carbs and shit.
tree, so let's say 40 gold and we'll call it even.
That's
Sounds
to
fair.
me.
Alright, so this aside, the reason I asked is because when Fern wakes up, she can't find Clover. So there's a bit of panic.
Did Clover get eaten by a manatee?
No. I think I will find Clover, these really big cabbages? Clover just started on one side and is now asleep inside of one.
Ah, yes.
Little tail
That
hanging
is a
out.
That is a very, very,
Very
goat
goat
thing
thing
to do.
Yeah. So I will extract Clover, and as it is indeed nearing dawn, I will just start feeding the manatees because that's fun.
Yeah. So they sort of huddle around. The song stops because they're too busy eating to sing, and they've all been taught it's very rude to sing with your
Sing
mouth
while you
full.
eat.
Exactly. It's like when I was never allowed to like eat at the table. They're not allowed to sing at the table. Also because then you just get this splatter that nobody wants, except maybe Briya. But yeah, that's Briya. They're a little different.
Now you roll over. No, just
One of them sort of leans a little bit to the side and then goes back and looks at you very expectantly.
that one gets the cabbage.
No.
Okay, next one. Now you do it.
No.
Angela's got the face correct. They're not.
Hmm?
No.
Hmm?
Mm.
I was about to say, know when to yield.
I will
The
save
first
the
one agree,
hollow
but the
dust.
second one not.
I
So
will
most
save.
of you wake up to the sound of a super loud crunching.
I will save the hollowed out cabbage for Clover because I don't want to make a manatee mad by giving him a faked
Cabbage.
out cabbage. That's just mean.
Psych.
Yeah.
Hold out the cabbage and you're like psych, and then you just see the manatee mouth going for your hand. It'd be terrifying, by the way.
No, I want to make friends with them. I love them. They're like sheep without the wool and wet, but they're fun.
Makes sense.
I want to dispute that, but I really can't. That was a really adorable description.
That's Fern's yeah.
Raison d'être.
No, not the reason that it's a Dutch word and I can't find the translation. A referentiekader.
Oh, it's actually 3 words in English. They call it a
Frame of
reference.
Yeah, frame of reference.
We just sort of smashed it together.
Yeah, we do that with words. Yeah.
When in doubt, just add everything together, remove all the spaces, and pray.
And put it in there.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I love other folks bringing up quirks of other languages. It's one of my favorite things.
I tried to explain to people using text how to pronounce my last name, and it was a mayhem. It just didn't work. Anyway, you wake up to the sound of crunching and munching, and I think the nicest line might be slobbering. They're not graceful eaters.
And Clover is on her back with a really full belly.
Oh yeah, Clover's gonna have one of those days where every time you think you're doing okay, something sort of goes somewhere lower down intestines, and you go, "Oh, I shouldn't have." But it's a goat, so she won't learn.
No, and she will fart a lot.
Yes, but that hopefully is only Fern's problem. Can I please have your morning condition checks?
But that's strength and spirit, right?
That is strength and spirit.
I will
Right,
test
that
the
was
gods
that was
and
a
use the
travel.
same dice.
Right, I was confused for a second. I realized what we rolled for was direction and travel check, because I have in our notes we fully recovered in the morning based off the roll. Or we
That
would
was
be-
because you critted your travel check, I think.
Right.
Your camping check, sorry. You critted your camping check.
I got
So now you just...
That's the +1 to the next day's condition check. Gotcha.
Exactly.
That's what that was.
You did really well on your camping check, so everyone has a +1 on their condition check, and your condition check basically determines how you're feeling in general, but also if something does happen, so if you like trip or if you eat something that isn't good for you, your condition check determines how badly that ends for you.
That would be a 6 only, so probably not very well.
I got a total of 6 as well with the +1.
I got a 7.
Okay.
I did wake up
Oh, we
with
have a
half
+1.
more of my hit points, like.
Do we have
Right.
a +1?
You have a
Yep.
+1.
Oh,
And
then I
8.
have 10.
8.
Only a 6, so I'm probably not doing so.
Hang on, I'm hearing 2 6s and 8. Lily?
I got a 9.
Is that with the +1?
That's with the +1.
And a 9. Oh, wow. That's not a lot of double digits. Hang on, I have a 6, a 6, an 8, and a 9.
And a
I'm
10
missing
for me.
someone. And a 10, that was yours. Yep, sorry. 8, 10. Alright.
Wait, do we have a group fumble point? Then I could get up to 10.
Nope, they reset every session.
I hate.
Sorry about it.
I
So, and if you were missing hit points, your hit points were doubled up to your max, but not beyond your maximum.
got it.
And everyone's magic pool is full.
I still feel very bad.
Oh.
Would this Anik?
Oh no, actually, no. You have all your hit points back because you critted. You're good.
Yes.
You're fine.
I was at 6 hit points. I was like,
No,
Wait,
you're
wait,
good.
Wait, who is?
I was, but not anymore.
Okay, sorry,
Lily,
I thought I heard
Lily did really bad on a certain travel check and fell into a hole.
Oh, yeah. That did happen.
But she's better now.
What's the secret to
guess.
travel? Just half your hit points, then double your hit points, then half your hit points, then double your hit points.
We got by okay on these conditions, though. Nobody's like.
Probably me.
Your conditions don't come into play until later in the day.
Okay.
It basically determines how easily you get injured should something happen.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Would this?
So say Fern, say Fern and Juniper both get bit by a snake. Fern would shake that off, and Juniper would get the poison condition.
I see.
So how robust you are today.
I'm not feeling great.
And just how you're feeling in general. So roleplay technically that this is how you're feeling. In which case, Juniper, Hannah, and Waden have felt better. We've seen better days. Might be the humidity or the heat or the everything.
We're waking up by chomping.
I woke up like
Yeah.
all sweaty from like
Yeah.
being bundled up in a swamp, and like I just feel really like awful. Maybe got bit a couple times during my watch with all the bugs, and just
There was a
Not
fair amount of
feeling great.
insects.
yeah.
I kind of imagine Hana's just like had one of those like it was a really wonderful dream and it was getting to a moment of just like very happy and then woke up right in the middle of it, so she's just like
It should be in a field of flowers.
more I mean that, but also just like a sense of like, oh, I remember that.
We
That was
just
really
got to the
pleasant.
good part.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really pleasant. I'm gonna go process that for just a little bit. / the whole day is thinking about it, but trying to say like I'm not thinking about it at all.
Tried to roll over and like get back to the dream before it went away, but just couldn't.
It just
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Well, that's the
So-
worst.
Moderately leading question, potentially. Would you say that waking up from your dream the way you did is making you feel nostalgic?
I think so. I was going to ask in relation to that whether this would also be a good quick moment to do the herb gathering for the start of the day as well. but I don't know whether there's something else. I would say yes to answer your question. Yes.
I will send you something in chat while you explain to me what it looks like when you want to go herb gathering today, and if you're bringing someone to help or hinder.
I think if Lily is awake, she would want to try and bring her along.
I see how it
More just to give her an excuse. I think Hana will say to Lily, it's for the purposes of just like, well, I need your help with just making sure I'm careful with things, but I think she just want to give her an excuse to like feel nice and good. So after the day before's events.
And while they come out of their tents, they see Fern putting her hat on a manatee and holding a cabbage. It's like, stay there, yes.
Priorities.
I think right before she heads out for the herb gathering, she'll just like turn to look at Fern and just like very sincerely, like no other intention. She'll just say, Fern, you are absolutely delightful. I'm very glad to be traveling with you.
Okay.
That is all. Then go and try and do the herb gathering.
And Lily will follow hastily. Hey, what up?
Oh no, that's unfortunate. Almost all of my stats got reset for some reason. That was strange.
They keep doing that occasionally. It's odd.
I just have to cross-reference with my paper copy versus the digital copy, just because I'm a paper copy guy when it comes to RPGs.
I understand this impulse, despite being a very tech-focused archivist. I understand this, but I will just do this quickly herb gathering to see just what happens. It's only a 6. I imagine there's nothing.
It's still considered, the terrain is still considered swamp, which is a level 3 terrain. So with a 6, I actually have to look if something horrible happens to you.
Nice.
It's reassuring.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about it.
And I don't know if Lily would have been able to help with the check at all.
Lily can try. She only has to roll a 5.
I can try.
I don't know if 7 will help.
What do I have to roll?
The herb gathering combination I have is it's strength and int.
Okay. That's very good.
Oh yeah, these are Lily's good stats.
Those are my good stats. Let's see what I got. Ooh. And wait. Can I do math? Yes, I can. That's
we ask this
11.
every week. 11.
I got an 11.
All right, so the 11 boosts your 6 to a 7, which is relevant because it means you don't take an injury.
It's very good.
It basically boosts you from a child could do better into pretty okay in the evaluation of the result table. So
It's like Hana's about to be injured and I'm like, whoa, wait.
Oh,
I think Hana's a little distracted.
yeah. I feel like that's really apparent on her face. Like part of it is like she's just trying to. She's probably a little more focused, and she's trying to give off the impression that she's a little more focused in the morning on things. But it's very transparent. She's not necessarily someone who hides emotions very well, as she tends to take them in so often. It's very hard for her to actually like hide her own.
Mm-hmm. What's going on? What's on your mind? Why are you so distracted?
I've just had memories going on. A lot of things from the past and such just coming up again.
I understand.
Do you ever get the impression dreams tell us anything? Or do you think it's just reflecting on just bad or good things?
Well, they say dreams are you trying to how do they say that? It's dreams are memories that you have to process, and so you do it through dreaming. while you're sleeping. So I think sometimes dreams can tell us something. They can tell us if how we're feeling, or if we might have done a good thing or a bad thing. They could tell us many things. But then also the skeptical person in me says they're just dreams, they're just memories you're trying to process.
I hope I've done right by her. I hope she is not angry with me for taking so long to see her again.
I don't think she would be. At least, if it was a nice dream, I don't think she would be.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was just... I haven't been that happy in quite a while. I'm not sad. Oh, that's clear. Although she's probably a little hedging on whether or not she's being sincere when she says that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not that sad.
Yeah, saying that's the happiest I've been in a long time is neither good nor bad. It means that you have been sad and that you have been hurting. And that's okay too. But, you know, can't let it cut you open like that planet almost did.
Yes. Apologies. I'm glad I brought you along. Thank you for your help in more ways than one, Lily.
No problem. I'll keep you on your feet. Okay?
This is another curious question. Have you ever seen something somewhat maybe child or human-like with horns before?
Excuse me, what? Again, what did you just ask me?
Never mind. I think I am slightly tired from everything.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I hope your dreams keep being nice to you, and I hope they tell you more things.
I'm looking forward to today, and probably coming back to whatever the last bit of slobbering, cabbage munching noises from the manatees.
That's funny you should say that. As you come back, you see Fern standing with one foot on one manatee and one foot on the other, and holding a cabbage. And they just think, oh, we have to roll over. So they both roll over to the other side, and I fall in. So I'm laughing all the while because this is amazing.
So close to inventing water skiing.
Manateeing.
I mean, I did point out that these were exceedingly fast manatees, so if you make a little harness, you probably could behind... I don't want to give Fern any ideas.
I could crochet.
I don't know why. I
probably...
just had the song "Wipeout" by the Ventures like playing in my head.
I am probably happy I don't know that song.
It's entirely instrumental. Think surf rock sort of vibes.
Right.
Very, very surf rocky vibes.
Probably heard it at some point in some 90s episode where they went to the beach at some point.
Probably.
Definitively. But
Okay.
ready.
As
So-
Fern falls into the water, you hear me go.
Fern is laughing with you because this is amazing. She hasn't had this much fun in a while.
It is.
Clover is hiding behind Sven and with her belly ache, and she doesn't want to get wet at all.
Yeah.
Her belly ache.
So you see this big splash of water because the manatees are also going around and around. And Juniper, as you look over, you see your cart on the barge dangerously sliding and tipping.
Oh jeez. Let's see here. Can I get Sven to like help me like hold it steady?
Oh. You can use Sven to like balance it out a little.
Just sorta,
and just
yeah.
Push it down in the water a little more.
I could jump in and
Scooch him
help
onto there.
if necessary
Oh,
as
I'm
well.
sorry. I'm
That
gonna
sounds great,
swim
yeah.
over to the barge and just hang on to the corner. I'm sorry. I was having so much fun. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's great. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Juniper is Juniper's on one side, Sven's on the other, Fern's hanging off the bow. Waden is on the cart holding on to sliding little boxes and things because, after 3 times, this cart is not as well packed as it used to be.
I think that was the only other detail we didn't get fully across to Lana in our recap, which was that we repacked the thing like 3 different times. We Tetris themed this thing so much that by the 3rd one, like Anik said, it's just like good enough. It's just fine.
Maybe a
I
little
would
extra
have
roast.
forgotten about that. I mean, playing
A
with
lot of
the
things
big
have to be
water
wiped
puppies.
down because of the dinner skin leaking.
Right, Lily helped us to clean the dinner skin so that it was not all like gross in there.
Yeah, which is
Good.
still on Caitlin's farm, by the way. You left it on the fence.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
no.
just wondering about that. We forgot
I
to
didn't know if it
grab
was done drying or not.
Nobody
we're never
checked on
gonna
it.
know
You
now.
just left.
I think Fern would have remembered that dinner skin.
No.
Hey, don't invoke me!
No.
I can invoke the fern.
As Kat says, in the words of Michael in chat, Fern can only be Deus Ex Fern in like 1 occasion. We only get 1.
Exactly.
That's fair, yeah.
You only get 1.
Also, I feel like that just sells the whole idea that we've just come and slightly wrecked this woman's farming like environment.
Yeah.
Like, we left a dead.
She comes
She had a
like she
perfectly
walks
happy
away
life.
from her romantic date night in her flower-covered gazebo, only to have her husband be distracted by what on earth is that smell?
On the other hand, she can sell it and have another date night.
I mean, it is worth 300 gold pieces, so yeah.
It's the most valuable thing we've ever owned.
I know, which is why I was so
I
amazed you
skinned
left
that
it
thing!
behind.
So
I
we-
skinned that thing.
So
Damn
we
it.
moved from Peargate to now Dinnergate. Is this?
No, because the pears were non-salvageable. This is just a very expensive gift.
That's how we're going to justify it in retrospect. We decided to make amends. That's how Lily has unintentionally made amends. She left a very valuable skin for her.
Karma. That's how it works.
Oh,
That's good too.
I did ask if you had everything before you left.
If Anik asks
We
you
never
something
know.
like that, people, I've known Anik for a while. If she asks you something like that, she's clue-batting you to death.
I
Fair
already
enough.
used you as a clue bet to hire the manatees to pull the barge. I was like, no, if they're leaving it behind, it's on them.
I have never heard the term cluebat before. That is such a useful term for the
Oh, yeah.
for a GM being like, I'm not saying you're about to make a giant mistake, but I would like to deter you from making a giant mistake in your immediate future.
Let me slap
had-
you around the face with some clues.
I've occasionally done the whole, hey, look, an NPC that has very valuable information. Go ask her what time it is and she'll tell you about the campaign you're missing. I play with some people who are not as inquisitive as I would like them to be.
Yeah.
I once put 22 named NPCs in jail cells for them to interview one at a time, and they walked into the jail, went, oh, there's nothing here, and walked back out.
He had a newborn
Oh,
baby. I
Lord.
didn't know.
That's
Cats.
amazing.
Shall
That's
we?
so
Shall
amazing.
we?
I was
Anywho.
about to ask you guys if you wanted to keep traveling, or if you're camping here for the day and taking a day off, or what are you doing?
No, the manatees are fed. We can go. I've
Yeah.
had my
Take a day
swim.
off?
Fern has had fun, therefore we are all ready to go. This is our.
Oh, Fern is ready. She's like, well,
I will
I've had my
say,
exercise, my bath, everything in one.
I'll say, if I'm taking a day off, it won't be here in this swamp.
You already had a day off in
That
this one,
way.
to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
No,
let's
but
keep going.
you need a day to get your things back
Bearing.
after you've been in the spa.
Yeah.
You know, you need a day, you need a
You
vacation.
need a day
from
after.
your
You need a
vacation.
post-spa day off.
Yeah.
I will ask this as a quick mechanical question before we consider anything else for traveling, because my vote is that we continue.
Yeah.
But if we are planning to travel, would someone like to be protected a little bit more thoroughly for the day in case something comes up?
I'm pretty good as far as protection and maximum HP.
It's
So
true we aren't that hurt yet.
We
It's
did
just
get all the
knowing
health
when
back,
to cast
so.
the shield spell because it's
That's
really strong if you run into a combat, but if you
Why
don't,
why I'm doing it at
Use
the
all your
start
MP.
of the day, so
Right.
that in the event things go terribly, at least the precaution has been set. That's why I'm
Right.
doing it at the start instead of the middle of the day, because I've learned it costs so much to use. I can only really do it once, so I need it to be at a good time. So
Mhm.
this is why genuinely asking, does anyone want to be more protected? Otherwise, she will protect herself.
that seems good.
Protect yourself. Go for it.
Okay. I will, in that case, try and do a magic check real quick.
Fun.
Which I wish I'd gotten that for my condition check.
Yeah, wow,
Oh,
that's
that is
amazing.
a good roll.
Almost a
Yeah.
crit.
That
Yeah.
works. So
Yeah.
she is going to cast, it takes her in the hour of setup as we're heading out. She's going to cast this, Round Reflection.
Okay.
Alright.
And then
You
she
have
just pulls
3
out a
defense
bottle.
points for the whole entire day.
Yep.
What does it
and
look? What does your particular barrier look like? Because it is visible.
I imagine she, pulls out a bottle, and it's like another little bit of powdery dust, except this time she mixes it with another one, puts them into a tiny little bowl that she has to mix different things into. I imagine that's part of the reason why she has a utensil kit. One of the little things is just a bowl to eat out of. She mixes it and she cleans it, washes it, crushes it a little bit like you're using a mortar and pestle, crushes it, and then gets a little scoop of it in her hands and just goes in a little circle around her, I'm imagining Ring Around the Rosie almost kind of action.
Mhm.
And then it's like she has a very faint see-through little round barrier of flowers, of spring flowers that are surrounding her. She is literally a spring fairy princess, but just an old lady.
Very adorable. Also brave of you to assume I use a mortar and pestle any time in my life.
Huh?
I hate cooking. Anywho,
You know, just mortar and pestles like we use every day.
I mean, I have 2 of them. I just don't use them.
I do. Yeah, I do as well.
I have
I'm
them,
sorry,
I just don't
Mostly
use them.
decoration.
I grew up with my dad using it for spices.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Spices imply I'm cooking instead of ordering. Can I have everyone's travel check?
Yes.
And that's
Strength and dex.
Ooh.
You're still in the
This is
swamp,
what
so your
I'm
target
good
number is
at.
fairly horrendous. Also, it is warmer than it was yesterday. There are no clouds. All of your clothes are sticking to you.
That's real bad on my end. So yeah, she's pretty hurt.
Let me have a look.
Wow, you even have not terrible dice for that.
Ooh,
That's rough.
wow.
Is it hot?
It is hot.
So do I get a +1 because I have my umbrella in hot weather?
I suddenly wish that I had had.
I don't have anything for swamp. I just have some weather. It's attire.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I rolled a 10.
it
so.
gives you a little bit of shade. So you can have your umbrella. The sun hat works as well for Fern.
I'll make it 11 for me.
Okay, so you're good. Juniper and Hannah are not.
Oh no.
10.
Is that with the
you-
hat?
Yes.
Yeah, and I would have had +1 because I also have a sun hat, but it's not going to save me because I only have a 4, so that's a 5. And I know the check is really hard.
Yeah. So
I also have a 10, by the way.
Oh,
the
nice.
today's difficulty was 11.
Oh, goodness.
I hate that. You know what?
I'm glad I asked about the umbrella.
Yeah, that was a very good question. So we
I
have one
rolled a
person.
1 on my d10, guys.
I rolled a 1 on my 8, but I rolled a 9 on my d10, so that helps me.
So, Waden, you travel all day without harm. The rest
The
of
rest of
you-
y'all are over.
So you're gonna get hurt while traveling through the swamp still, because the difficulty is set to the swamp. So it's gonna happen before you get to the coast. So for the four of you, I'd like to know how you're traveling and how the way you're traveling causes you to lose a fair amount of hit points, namely half rounded down.
Well, in that case, I get squished between the manatees when I fall into the water.
That sounds fairly likely, actually, considering
Yeah.
your antics.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fern's half crushed by manatees.
No! Guys! Yeah.
I'll get one of those poles that we use to push the barge and try to help fish her out as she goes under. Try to grab
The
on
manatees
Fern.
just look confused and are swarming Fern, looking for more cabbages.
Fern, just grab on, please. Pull her out, get her onto the barge.
They're big.
Yeah.
Sweet, though. They didn't mean to.
I mean, there's a reason dinners don't eat them. They're too big.
I think that I try to take a bite out of some weird berry that I find growing by the side of the thing, and I'm not like poisoned, but like I feel bad afterwards.
You're gonna sit next to Clover and go.
Have a stomach.
Yeah.
I
just
mean,
That with the
you
I'm
do
pretty sure
have
that was a good one.
you do have a low enough condition that eating something questionable would give you either the sickness or the poison condition.
This is just
Which
like a
one's
little
worse?
bit. It's just a little.
You're just a little
Not
bit sick.
nice. Yeah.
Okay, that's alright.
Which makes you lose half your hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't reduce his strength die by one category. Her
Awesome.
strength die. I apologize. Lily, Hannah, how are you doing?
Bad.
you're- Gliding through this swamp.
So I'm thinking we're going pretty fast, right? Because we
You're
have
going-
manatees and
yes.
stuff. Okay, so I'm thinking
The only reason you managed to get to the coast in a day and a half instead of 3.
Awesome. I think because it's so hot and it's so sticky and gross that I try to take my shirt off. But while
You're
doing
wearing a
so,
lot of leather.
yeah, exactly. So I try to take that shirt off, and so in doing so, I accidentally like rip off the necklace I have. And it like falls into the water, and I go diving after it immediately. But in doing so, I like, if we're still in like some kind of mangrovey area,
Oh
I,
yeah,
like,
definitely.
I hit my head on some tree
Better
trunks
music
or
for this.
whatever,
Yeah.
and I just go completely boonk, and I managed to get my medallion back, but it's I come back with this big lump on my head.
Head wound.
Yep.
no.
Waden, could you give me a perception check?
Yes. That is intelligence.
Dex and
and
int.
Dexterity.
Yes.
Oh. I do not have my intelligence upgraded anymore. So, that's an 8.
Okay. So as you're pulling Lily back onto the raft next to a dripping fern, you notice that the commotion and the blood is attracting some wildlife. You don't see any dinners. You have the feeling those are further inland, but these are long and narrow and scaly and slithery and really, really big.
Oh no. I'll try to get some cloth and help clean Lily up a bit from hitting her head, but I'll also point out to her I think we may have attracted the attention of some locals, and point out these serpent-like creatures, I'm guessing.
Serpent-like is accurate, yeah.
You just see me go. Because I'm very dizzy. I'm like this on the boat, like, you know, and then
There's still water in your eyes, blinding headache.
exactly. And then when you say like, there's some locals coming by, I just like stand up very quickly, and I
Oh, no.
like pull my bow, and I like, let me at him, and
Oh,
then
no, no, no.
I
I'm
just
trying to steady her.
I just face plant onto the barge again, and like,
Yeah.
Okay,
that was
okay.
a bad idea.
Just
Okay,
sit for a
Lily's
bit. We'll
down.
figure out what's happening.
Can I reach?
You don't see them.
no.
Waden saw something sliding into the water, and now everything looks quiet again.
I
Okay.
don't see them.
I'll help situate Lily a bit, and then I think kind of go around checking on everybody who. I'm the only one it looks like is not having a bad time on the barge today,
Right.
and
Wait, I'm
try to like.
okay. It's just I was playing with them, and it's not their fault, and I'm just a bit squished. But if there's anything moving I have to hit, just tell me.
Yeah, so I'll run around trying to like half attend to everybody not feeling well today, and also just as like diplomatically as possible, kind of communicate. I did see some creatures slip into the water behind us, some scaly, slithery types that I haven't seen before, and just want you guys to know. I don't
Okay,
know
so-
if they're dangerous or if they're of a concern. I think if we keep moving, we can just monitor the situation for right now.
I'm like ushering Sven into the middle of the wagon or the middle of the raft.
Definitely. Everyone kind of
I'll stand on the back with
Group.
my
in the middle.
thingy.
And I'll get my sword out as well, just in case, and kind of watch the water where I saw them slip in and just kind of scanning.
Okay. So, Hannah, how are you doing?
Well, Hana's player is currently wishing she'd properly remembered the effect of a Crimson Dayflower and that it would let me re-roll that condition check with a +1, but it's too late now. So
Yeah.
I kind of imagine she's just got hurt through part of the day with she's just disoriented, probably just or still just a little bit lost in space, thinking about the dreams and such. And I think, regardless if it's actually there, I think she thinks she sees the short humanoid with horns again and tries to go after it a little bit, but like hits her head a couple of times and like crashes into some element of the mangrove tree. Because after
While you're on your manatee, you're trying to steer it, and it just keeps running into the bank, and low slung branches are sort of hitting you in the face.
Brambles
So
and
Waden,
things.
you're gathering this flock of disoriented travelers
I get to herd the
onto
cats today.
onto your barge, and as you're like pushing a cloth onto Lily's bleeding head wound, and Fern is going, "Let me at him!" You see Hana veering off on her manatee again. You hear this clunk, clunk as her head keeps hitting the low-slung branches near the river banks.
Just everybody kind of like come in closer. I really don't know what's in the water right now. Could we just maybe all get on the barge and kind of stay by the cart for now? I'm just really worried about anyone getting hurt any more than they already
by
are.
the cart. Stop telling me what to do. I feel
I'm sorry.
bad.
Do you need some water? I'll offer some water from my water skin. Just.
I also just realized it's particularly bad for Hana because I cast the round reflection, so I would have had to have been hit quite a lot of times or very hard.
Oh yeah,
by all of
you've
them.
lost your the -3 is gone, and then that fifth branch just sort of went.
Wait, is it a permanent -3 for the day only once, or is it just?
No, I think at some point your magic wavered a little because you got so disoriented and distracted. And I'm sure if something actually attacks you, you'll be focused enough to have it like snap back up. But for now, your flowers are more like a hazy field drifting around you and less a perfectly formed barrier.
Okay, that makes sense. was double checking because that would be fine if like mechanically they drop, because that also makes sense to me. But if they're still in effect, but currently they're just very sad spring flowers, which that already hurts me more than any mechanical harm could actually hurt me.
I'm sure mechanically your barrier stays up, but then it's very hard to explain how these branches are costing you hit points. So I think it makes more sense if your barrier is like
Wavering.
just as unfocused as you are right now.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But I think she would take Waiden's advice, like once she's gets out of being distracted.
You see Clover sort of hops off the cart, walks to the edge, and sort of holds out a cabbage in her mouth to Hana's manatee. Sort of herd Hana's manatee back towards the group. And do the proper caravan thing where you all huddle back together. You keep going towards
scanning the
But I
water
was
as we
gonna
go.
hit a scaly thing.
Well, I haven't seen them yet, but if you want to help, just keep your eyes peeled on the water.
You
Got me all
can
excited.
you can roll sense to sense living creatures nearby. See if
yeah.
you can find the wildlife.
What, me? No.
Yeah. You can
Oh.
try.
Could I as
How do I
well?
roll sense?
Sense is int and spirit. These are your
Yeah.
favorite rolls.
Let me just roll that.
I can
Really?
help because I'm good at those too. Oh well,
Two.
maybe not.
Is that
Just
a
kidding.
fumble on 2 dice?
Yep.
So you get a
golly.
fumble point, and the group gets a fumble.
Yay.
I rolled a 5. I rolled a 1
Okay.
on one of my 4s and a 4 on the other one.
Wow.
So we're gonna deal with Fern's fumble first, because
Okay.
Fern, you're focusing, you're looking at the water, you're looking for living things. There's a ripple. There's a ripple in the water right there. Can you please roll me a Dex and Intelligence check to see if you stay on the barge as you're hitting literally nothing?
I can certainly try.
The GM didn't even
Not
have
Dex
to plan
strength?
this, did they?
No.
Dex in
9.
9. Okay, so you do manage to maintain your balance and stay on this barge, which is fortunately really big. You're splashing people though as you're hitting the water, which is just water.
Well, it was moving.
Water does
Waden,
that, Fern.
Not on its own. What
if
is
you
it?
met a river.
I'm confused.
So Waden, you had a 6,
A 5.
a 5. Ooh, that's close enough that I actually have to check my monster manual. Monsters. Nah, nothing around. Not nearby. Let's leave it at nothing that's going to eat you is nearby.
I'm just rapidly scanning the water, but have literally no idea what I'm looking for. So even if I could have noticed something, I probably wouldn't have registered it because I have no instincts for tracking animals at all.
No, considering you grew up in a castle with a fake farm, what are animals?
Mm-hmm.
How do they work?
See a lot of animals on tapestries.
Exactly.
I know what the
very-
animals look like, but not
You
at all
know
what
how they
they.
move or where they live or how they hide. I will I'll have mercy on you and I will tell you that nothing's going to attack you this morning. You did, as Michael pointed out in chat, you're quite well at hurting yourselves without any kind of combat situation.
Yeah, we've
Is one
been
of
through
this
enough.
group's finer points. So I suggest we go take a break because it's 19 past and then come back at 5 past half and celebrate your arrival at the coast.
All right,
As you send the manatees back and move on by cart.
all right.
Yay! Okay.
See you
And
guys
in that
in
case,
a
we
little
will see
bit.
you in 15 minutes. Drink, stretch, hydrate, be good.
All right,
See ya!
bye.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot. Your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware. It's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a buck or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, but also every 500 bits or a Tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent, and every 1000 bits or Tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
we're back.
Welcome back. I almost had another huge bite of popcorn, but I didn't, so it went well. Alright, back to admin because I forgot things, because I'm that kind of person. I should have shouted out our Gold Star VIP patrons who give us lots of money to make amazing content and fall into water and get crushed by manatees, apparently. So, our sincere and heartfelt thanks go to Donald G, Nerdy T, Michelle E, Abigator, Anino, who was briefly in chat even, and Andy T. Thank you for your continued support and contributions. And another brief shout out again for Roll 20 that I am now opening again because I forgot to start the music yet. That's fine. There we go. Most of us are still in quarantine, or at least social distant, and if you still want to play games with your friends and share music and maps and potential rules that may or may not save the world or doom your character, Roll20 is an amazing tabletop simulator. I know there's a lot of competition, but the nice part about Roll20 is that it is system agnostic, so you can run Ryuutama or Pathfinder or Star Trek or D&D. And the community will have character sheets for you that you can use and fill in. And if not, you can make them yourself, because homebrewing in Roll20 is so fucking easy. It's amazing. I think that was a pretty good plug. And I think we can move back, like camera pans down to our party. Ah, yes. We're not entirely sure if our particular donations are still going. The button is still there, so you can still donate to the Bale Project from our Tilify campaign. I think it's called a campaign. So you can click the donate button that is underneath this stream to donate to the Bale Project, because of course, welcome to the party supports still, and probably always will, Black Lives Matter, because they do. Now we pan back to the party as their manatees are slowing down. It was basically the river mouth as it is emptying out into the ocean for Juniper, and maybe even for Waden. This is the largest body of water you've ever seen.
Fern too.
Fern as well, yeah. I forgot you're from Dalespread Hill. That's not quite on the ocean.
No, I'm on hilly sheep land.
You're on hilly shore. So, as your manatees take you towards this opening in the mangrove trees, and the water starts to move even more, not so much because there's giant anacondas, but because of the waves and the tides. In front of you, there is just blue water, blue sky, and that's it.
Wow.
Waden is at a loss for words.
I hate it here.
That's supposed to look like that?
Sadly, it is.
But where does it end?
Where does it go?
That's the scary thing about it.
Lily doesn't like.
I don't get it.
Oh, geez, I just realized that. Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should just stick close to the land part
I
and not get out in the middle there.
No, I want to see it, and I'm going to run towards the sea. Jumping off.
So the manatees don't want to go into the fully salt water, and they don't like the waves very much. So they'll drop you off at like a little flat area near the beachfront. Fern takes off running towards the coastline.
This is
we're thinking
fucking
like
weird.
behind me it's kind of accurate. We're not talking sandy beaches, fancy coast. We're talking like a rocky, mountainy Irish coast.
I'm mountaineering Crocs, I'm fine.
Mountaineering Crocs, Pebble Beach, you're good. Fern's off. Fern's gone.
Waden is behind her, but slower, like walking up, like taking things in more tentatively, like, and eventually we'll like get up to the coastline where the waves are coming in and just kind of, you know, stand just where the feet is like lapping at his boots and like kind of look out across the water and just kind of trying to just take it all in.
Fern will take out her book of yarn swatches, try to match it up. That one? No?
I don't think you have anything as blue as this water in your yarn book.
No, that's the problem.
Mhm.
So we'll go, Hannah! 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 Hannah!
I don't think she quite knows how to actually respond to how enthusiastic Fern is about the water.
Hannah! What do I need to dye yarn like this color because I don't have the right color and I need to crochet this?
Get as close as you can, dear, and perhaps we'll find some more materials for you to work with when we get closer to another town.
What?
Lily,
Follows
Juniper?
after she doesn't know how to. She's not going to respond as loudly. She goes at her own pace, so she just follows. Or tries to stay closer to Waden to make sure we're not getting separated as a group.
I could
Well-
possibly wrongly split the party.
Well, in the meantime, I'm trying to like get the cart off the barge and trying to like get it onto soft grassy land.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
It's not
helping.
that soft. Underneath the grass and the moss, it's just solid rock. Yeah, though. There's
I
low
hate-
spray.
I'm helping Sven and the cart off of the barge and sort of managing our getting everything onto solid land again.
So there's an elk on the beach?
Yep.
He's used to rocky terrain. He'll be okay.
Yeah, I know, but he's on the beach.
Beach day!
And then after we've gotten the cart all safe and sound on the riverbank, I'm just gonna. I turned to Juniper and I was like, "So, we were supposed to send the manatees back, but what about the barge?"
Maybe they'll bring it back? We can just sort of... I mean, I guess I've been thinking of this barge as just like some logs that are lashed together, not like a nice boat.
It was a pretty good boat.
Hmm.
Like, what they moved people around on was the logs, but to be able to hold 4 people, the pole people, the cart, the elk, it was a substantial water vehicle. Let's just leave it.
Would be
You never said we had to bring it back.
Didn't
think we were
really.
pretty sure it was a rental.
Exactly. But also, we paid more than the asking price, so I think they can miss one. It's fine.
I would say we could send it back with the manatees and maybe leave a note for them to return it to.
Wait, I don't
have
think
his name
manatees
written
can
down.
read.
When it gets back to the farm, they would read the note that we left on the barge.
Okay.
To
And the dinner skin is payment for bringing back the barge?
Oh yeah, they're really... You know what? Maybe they owe us some money now
I
that
would
I think
hope-
about it. Can we
well-
send an IOU on this barge?
I would hope
Point
that.
of order, the people
we
you
could get
hired
those
the
back.
barge from are not the same people as where you hired the manatees?
Yeah, I would say that they would,
That's-
if they were able to send it back upriver to. I have his name written down in my journal.
That guy.
Doc?
Which
Is his name
Waden would
Doc?
know. I think it's Doc.
Yes, it is.
It was Doc, and he had a
It
brother
was Doc.
that lived in Scarlet Pond. And I would simply leave a note requesting that it get returned and to thank them for allowing us to keep it for as long as we did. Just maybe a few days more than the expected rental duration.
So you're putting a scrap of paper on top of a wet barge and calling it a day, or
Well, if it has... One sec.
it's not my dogs this time.
Happy, come
not
here.
yet. It's gonna happen.
One
The
second.
moment where the player character is having so many reactions that the actual the player cannot have. Or no, the player is having so many reactions that the player character cannot have. Namely, the first response being, even if you pay over for a rental, that doesn't equal replacing the actual car.
Right.
You put
Fair.
like $20-30 over a rental. That's not the same as replacing a full vehicle.
I would have a much better car if that was happening.
Can we pay
So-
like a barge deposit or something?
Well, I would.
Security deposit on our barge, because I don't think we thought that far ahead.
We did not.
Also, people are very trusting around here, and you're just being. I was almost going to call you D&D players.
Fern is
That's the
actually
right
picking
mentality.
up. Fern is picking up shells by the shoreline.
Yeah.
The
Juniper.
encounter would never.
Juniper, perhaps, is your raven able to deliver messages? I'm not sure if you have that kind of raven.
That's a good question. Would that be like a raven intelligence check? Can we look up what his stats would be?
You just described him as one of the very, very well trained ravens
He
from
was
the town that
I
trains
did.
well
ravens.
trained.
I don't know the reputation of the ravens of Raven Run, but if possible.
It's smart. I don't think I've used him to send messages before, and it would be hard to send him back from here to go to some place that's really far, and then have him come back to us at a place that he doesn't know where it is. Because if we wanted him to meet us at the next town, that's like that way. So
That's a fair point.
I'm a little worried about being down one raven forever if we
Then-
tried that.
Well, perhaps.
Or we
if
forgot
there's-
about him for 2 sessions.
Yes.
Is it the barge is just like a flat boat? There's no like place that I could leave a note that would be safe
Put
from
it in a
getting
little
wet.
box. We got boxes.
It was mainly like a cargo barge, so it doesn't have like a steering hut or anything.
It's not like a post or anything. Maybe could I put a stick in the middle of the barge and put the note on top of the stick so that
You all have walking sticks.
Why don't we get a nice
Or you
maybe
Or you
nice
could get
four,
one
flat
like
four each for one.
and we'll put it on the barge, and then we'll put the note on there. We'll put another flat rock on top of that. Hold it down. They'll go, "What's this pile of rocks about?" And then they'll say, "Aha, a note."
so you're gonna stack rocks.
We're gonna
That
stack
works.
some rocks.
Not to
I
repeat
have-
what our GM has told us before, but we're going to take a stack of rocks, put a piece of paper, crush it into the wet barge, and
I'm
then
going
just send it
to-
along its way.
Present
No,
one
it's-
more
I'm just
It's
alternate
a sandwich.
idea.
We're making a sandwich.
A wet
As-
sandwich.
I understand and appreciate the idea. I'll present one more alternate idea, which would be, could I find like a large piece of tree bark or something that I could carve a message into that would not get destroyed by water, like paper would?
Point of order. Fern will come back because people seem to be discussing something. And
You're
she
being
will,
very left out again.
Yeah, and she is offering, well, I could crochet a message.
Oh my god, cute.
I mean, it'll take me like 2 hours, but I think we could like have a picnic, and I have this is my big one. I also have a small one, and I can crochet like letters and stuff. So if it's not too long, it'll take me like 2 hours.
That's brilliant, honestly. I like that.
And a nice souvenir, maybe, for them to remember our time together.
Put a little heart on it.
Well, that
It's
will
just-
take me 5 minutes extra, but I can
Just a please return to Doc.
keep the dinner.
Maybe from, say where he's from. From,
From Scarlet Pond?
Scarlet
If we know
Scarlet.
from
He
Scarlet
was
Pond.
from Scarlet Pond, right? Not from the...
Not really confused.
There was an intermediate town that we also stopped by.
Okay, but
Yeah.
the thing is, I really want to collect some more shells. So if I'm going to be crocheting, someone else has to collect shells for me.
I'd be happy to. I did want to
Yay!
get down to the beach and see more of what's down there.
Alright, for the crocheting, give me a Dex Spirit check, because that is the check we get for delicate work making intricate items.
I have strength dex. Make an item from my specialization. Crafting. It's one of my class skills.
Ooh.
This is actually something I can do.
Roll me an int first.
This is something this is my profession.
For job knowledge.
My profession?
I am a world-renowned crocheter. You're going to let me roll
By
int?
world-renowned, you mean nobody out of Windsweep has heard of you.
Well,
Well,
everyone I've shown it
For
to,
us.
everyone I've shown it to on my trip has been very impressed by my crafting. This is actually my class skill, and you're gonna make me be intelligent. I'm
That
not
one guy in
intelligent.
Scarlet Pond knows
This is
about
just
her.
mean.
What did you roll?
4 2d4s because I'm stupid as fuck, but I can crochet.
Okay. So roll your crocheting check.
Thank you.
I never thought I would say that, by the way. Roll your crocheting check.
You
And I've
knew
played a
when I
lot
ma-
of games.
You knew when I made this character.
It's true.
Oh crap.
Oh no.
So how good are you at crocheting, Fern?
It's the first time seeing the ocean. I'm totally overwhelmed. That's a 3 on a d10 and a d8.
Oh my god.
Is there like a reroll possibility or something? This feels bad. I mean, every time I get to do something I'm actually good at, I never get to do anything, and now I fail again.
Your job knowledge check was just to see how many words you spelled wrong on your crocheting, but that crocheting check is atrocious.
I can make it into a 4 with my fumble point.
Oh yeah, fumble points only give a +1. Oh.
So this takes
Oh,
you.
no! I can make it into a 6 because we have another fumble point.
You need a 7. So
If it's a 6, it's just really bad.
how about this? You're crocheting. It's 2 hours. You're horrendously distracted by the ocean and the waves, and you're trying to tell Waden, no, the other pink shell. So you're micromanaging, multitasking. Is there, Hannah?
Question. Could she have asked one of us to help her?
Hold the string. Yes.
You want to hold? You want someone to hold your string?
Yes, because it's all tangled, and that's why it's not working.
I'm only asking because that's something she could have done.
Yes.
It's not even necessarily just because I think this will work. There's just
It
more.
will. It will
Considering
work.
that Fern tends to be the most scatterbrained and Hana's the most focused on a good day.
You can certainly ask Hannah to hold your string.
Hold my string. My yarn.
Okay. Double checking with Anik. What is the check you would like me to roll to try and help? What was it that?
The same as Fern rolls. So Fern.
Fern, what was your-
That's a strength dex.
So that the on mine, the only other equivalent I have is hard exercise. So I will just roll that, and this will be to determine if I'm able to help you, which I am.
And so can I have the group
You
fumble
get a
point?
+1. Oh, that's up to the group.
So if I can have the group fumble point and
Yeah,
my own
get
fumble
it.
point, I can
think it's
actually be
worth
good
it.
at the only thing in this world I'm actually good at.
It needs to also make up for our horrible manners in the past 3 towns. So we can at least send the barge back.
Please, we
With
really
a
do
note.
actually like.
So it eventually comes together. It starts a little sloppy until Hannah leans over and goes, "Here, let me hold that for you."
Yeah,
And you're
because
like,
there's
"Wait."
2 colors and they get all tangled because I have
And
one
you
color
should be
for the letters
focusing
one
and
color.
not looking at the sky or the ocean or Waden collecting
like,
the
is
wrong
that-
So
shells.
big! And he keeps getting the little ones. I don't want the big ones with the pink rim.
Fern, would you like me to try and find some more material for you around here when I do an herb gathering next morning?
Yes, please. And also, can you just hold one in this hand, one in this hand, and then flip them over when I flip colors? And
Just tell me when. I trust you, without any doubt in the world. Just tell me when.
wait, and
and
not the black ones! Not the black ones! I don't want those.
Hannah also points out to you that you're about to crochet "please" wrong. It's with an S and not a C.
Just like slightly like you might need to turn this letter a little bit.
Now frog it. Rip, rip, rip.
Yep.
This is called frogging because you rip it, rip it, rip it. This is
Oh my
actually
God.
the term for it.
Crocheting humor.
No, and knitting. You frog it. That's the thing. Anyway, it works.
It works. So eventually, it takes more like 3 hours than 2 hours, but you have a successfully crocheted, multicolored message that says, "Please return to dock. Love, Fern." Probably. XOXO.
It's the dinner.
Keep the dinner. Well done.
Congratulations, everybody. It took us 15
I
minutes to
saved-
resolve something.
And
Would like it noted, I saved the day with crochet.
Did?
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm
we,
sure
barely.
Wayden will journal about this.
Barely.
This is going really well, guys.
Let it be
Alright,
known
so-
that we were saved by the power of friendship and
Oh, once
Crochet.
again.
memory.
and we probably also had lunch during that time. In our
Yes, there
wee
was a
hours.
picnic
Yeah.
involved, I believe.
Has everyone been marking off? Because I didn't take it from personal ration and water, because I've been assuming, just double checking with the quartermaster handling. each
Yes,
time we do-
I've been taking water from our big water barrel for everyone.
Good.
Okay, just double
We've
checking.
got 1 day of water left after this,
No.
but
We're
that
going
should be fine
through-
because we're just about there.
Alright, the message has been crocheted. The manatees head back upriver, humming as they swim along. You have your cart, your raven, your goat, yourselves, and half a day before you. That's the plan.
Time to
I
get
want to
on
stay on the
road.
beach.
We can
I
travel along the beach.
But it's so cool. We can just camp here. And which way does the sun go? Does it go down into it or does it come up out of it?
Yes.
Both.
What?
Yeah. It sucks.
I
Well-
need to see that.
They did tell us to follow the coast to get to Aunt Madeline, so we could travel along the coast and watch the sun set or rise or whatever it
Whatever
does
it's gonna do.
down here, and maybe we can all,
Yeah,
enjoy
also,
the beach and also keep moving.
Wait a minute. Do you have my shells?
Yeah, I got a couple of these, and I wasn't sure if you wanted. I didn't know if you wanted this one or this one, so I got both. If you don't want this one, I'll keep it. But
Well, you can have one for yourself. I don't want all of them, but I just want to see how many you got. How many did he get, and are they pretty?
He got quite a lot of them. There are a few pretty ones, and there are a lot of busted ones.
and a couple that
I
might
will
just be a
pick all
weird
the
looking
bad
rock.
ones out while we're walking.
It's not particularly low tide, so he didn't have a lot of space to gather.
So he doesn't really have the eye for it, you know. I'm an artist. I know.
Some of them I think
Some
are
of
just
them do seem to be moving. Like, tiny little legs.
Raven, Raven. Does the raven eat them?
Sure.
He smashes them on a rock first.
Oh.
I don't know.
Right. Traveling along the beach is quite difficult because the beach tends to stop and then become a mountain. You just go up or around. So, as those of you who were here last week might remember, you were strongly advised by the people regularly traveling this way to go up the cliffs and follow along the cliffside and not try and make this a beach trip. Which you can, which would be fascinating for me. But it might not end well, is what I'm saying. You're free
No.
to go wherever you want. Hannah?
Yeah, no thank you.
Quick
I
point
would-
of order: was that suggestion separate from the one that I received regarding what the direction I was interested in going towards Flower
Yes,
Bed?
completely separate. Because
Okay.
you're first heading south to go talk to Aunt Madeline. So the directions that were given to specifically Wayden, I believe, was to travel south along the coast and stay up on the cliffs, because you're going quite far south of Rayford now, and where you're going would be much farther east and then north. So Hana is traveling in the opposite direction of where you hope to be going.
Okay, just double checking.
If you look at Roll20, you see the world map. You're going to that little coastal town under Rayford, and then Flower Bedford is above Windsweep on the east of Crystal Chime.
The map is currently showing the Scarlet Pond.
We're still at Scarlet Pond.
Oh, I thought I moved you. I will move you now. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. So, you're going... draw a shape. No, freehand. And I want to draw on this layer, because otherwise I'll never find it again. So you're going here-ish. And eventually, Hana wants to be here.
So yeah, definitely way opposite direction.
Way opposite direction.
And we are here-ish?
You are here-ish.
Oh, okay.
So we're south of Scarlet Pond and Rayford and following the coast further south to the little town.
We were advised not to do a beach path.
I would be inclined to follow the advice of those who told us how to get there.
That's all fine, but then we can just, like, have a spa day on the beach or something. That's what people do, right? Spa days. Wayden had a spa day. Can I not have a beach day?
No.
Well, you could walk down there.
No,
while
I just don't want. No, I don't want
put the cart up here.
Walk down there. I want to stay here and build like something with the sand. Like I think I can pile it up real high.
Well, we could maybe we could travel during the day along the cliffs and make our way down to the beach to camp later tonight.
I don't think it works that way.
The town that we get to will be a beach town, so maybe they'll have all sorts of fun beach stuff to do there.
That is
You guys
true.
are really patronizing me. Just say I can't do what I want to do, and I have to. It's fine.
We're just trying to
Fern?
find a compromise.
Fern? You can't do what you want to do.
Oh.
You asked us to
Fine.
say that.
Yes, I'm saying fine. Don't pile on top of it. I'm saying fine.
No,
Thank you for
No, I
being
didn't.
honest.
Me as a player, I didn't hear the follow up fine, so that's why I couldn't hear the fine.
It's fine.
It was a subverbal fine.
Oh, okay.
It was an implied fine.
No, it was a annoyed.
I didn't hear it either, but okay.
You know what?
Okay.
It's okay. Thank you, Hannah. You're the only one who treats me like an adult around here.
Just kind of goes and like is about to like put her hand to do a pat on the shoulder, but then like thinks better of it because she doesn't think that would be received very well.
I'm gonna count my shells.
Right.
Yeah, so while we're walking, you see, like, Lily as far away from the water as possible.
Oh.
She's, like, in the tree lines. She's, like, looking at the water with just a stank look. And
So-
then just, yeah.
That might work for like the first hour or so, but eventually there is no more tree line.
Sure, but then I walk away from the water as far as
Yeah,
possible.
that is perfectly fine, but it is very open.
Mhm.
So you can see very, very far. Those of you who are so inclined can keep the horizon in sight at all times. No trees. Also,
I'd rather
it's-
not.
it's less grasslands and more like clover and moss and just all kinds of plants that grow on salty spray cliffs. So lots of little yellow and white flowers.
Oh.
Wait, clover as in plant, or clover as in there are goats, like multiple goats everywhere.
Both.
I have to. Oh.
Both.
Oh.
There's goats.
There's goats.
There's goats.
Cool.
There's goats.
There
There's
are
a few
goats?
goats, a few sheep. Some scruffy looking kind of small ponies.
I will pick up Clover because I don't want her to run off with any boy goat.
Clover doesn't understand why you're doing what you're doing, but she's okay with it. She's like Clover's young enough to still think boy goats have cooties, but eventually she might be interested.
There will come a day where I will have to let my goat be a goat.
She may like girl goats. Let's not pigeonhole her.
Yeah, fair.
So Lily's as far away from the water as she can.
Yeah, and I keep my eyes most on the animals around me.
Yeah.
Just to seek comfort.
Yep. So, I didn't realize I should have put a thalassophobia trigger warning on this episode, but apparently...
Look, it features it. It's not... Okay. She is having some flashbacks. No.
Lily's having a moment. The rest of you are having quite a delightful walk, actually. It's still really hot, so the parasol and the sun hat are worth their weight in gold. Juniper and Hannah are really hot, sweating. Surprisingly, also the people who rolled the worst on their condition checks, so you're getting a little dehydrated and just tired. And even though everything here is gorgeous, the sea spray would normally like cool you down, but in this case it just seems to make you sticky.
Okay.
It's one of those beach days where the wind almost hides how badly you're burning.
I've had those days. Those are not fun.
You think you're okay, but as soon as you get out of the sun, you're like, oh no, everything's red and white.
I am burned.
However, you're making a good pace, and again, distances on the map are not indicative of actual travel times, so by the time you're heading towards dusk, you can see a town on the horizon. The one with the cliffs, not the one with the ocean. It is a land-based town.
I'm gonna pull out
specify
my,
because there are water-based towns, but this isn't it.
I'm gonna pull out my nice bright lantern and light our way to make sure we don't run into a rut or anything.
Yeah. It's been you've had to navigate around ditches and water pools, etc. But you know, your travel check was good enough that you worked out well. We did not roll a direction check because in this particular case, I assumed you were given directions that were accurate enough, namely keep the ocean on your right, that you could not have failed this. So I didn't want to risk you fumbling and losing the ocean.
Where did it go? It was so big.
Exactly. So next time when there is a valid option of getting lost again, we'll go back to the travel check. But in this case, it's just ocean on the right and keep walking. I didn't think you could mess it up.
Yeah.
And when you get a little closer, you see the houses were probably, some of them still have a little bit of white peeking through with gray slatted roofs, but most of them are covered in green plants. Everywhere are little stone fences. People have very small vegetable patches, barely any flowers, which is probably explained by the goats and the sheep that are freely wandering around. And as you're approaching what appears to be the front gate, you see a sign that says Koriko. There's actually a road that comes in from a little further east than you're coming from. And as soon as you get towards this road, which is like gray cobblestones, a little slick, you notice that down the middle of the road is a painted yellow stripe.
That's weird.
Oh.
Do you think we should
Do we
follow it?
follow it? I think. I have the same idea.
Okay. You follow the painted stripe into town. It's clearly not a very large town. The houses are fairly far apart. The road is pretty wide, so if you're feeling they usually have commerce here, like carts moving through. And the road takes you into the town center towards where the docks are, where probably fishing boats moor. And a little ways into town, you see a really large building where the walls are also covered in green plants, but the roof is completely red. And this yellow line follows the road for a bit and then continues onto the roof of this inn, almost dividing it in half, and then behind the inn goes back down to the street and continues along the street. And you see this line where it's not following the road, it is bisecting gardens and houses and market stalls. It's like everything was where it was. They grabbed a paintbrush, they drew a straight line through town, and that's where the line is.
We have a town like that on the border with Belgium.
Similar to this.
Wow,
Yes.
that's weird.
Oh, not this.
So you can, you have to cross the line to get to the entrance to the inn. It's denoted as an inn with the common symbol for an inn, and underneath this symbol is also the inn that this is one of the messaging centers. So you can collect your mail here. Again, for the people who missed it, the mail system here is if you're not sending items but only letters, it's fairly magical. It's like the World of Warcraft mailboxes. If there's a mailbox anywhere, you can collect or send your mail.
I'm gonna check.
All right.
I am too.
It is inside. It is inside the inn. So you go up to the desk and.
Hi, I'm Fern Chrysanthemum. Do you have any mail for me?
The person behind the counter, who is a little flustered that you're suddenly there, sort of goes, 1 second, let me just finish up here and I'll go look. So they finish serving food in the inn because it's very much a dual purpose area. Very carefully stepping over the line each time and coming back to greet you and goes, Fern Chrysanthemum?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go look. And he goes right back for a bit. I'm afraid we have nothing for you here.
There are like a few other people who are gonna want to check. Guys, you want to check your mail?
I'm like right behind her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So my players will get handouts from me after today because I did plan on doing stuff. I just didn't make anything. But Lily has 2 letters and Hannah has 1 letter.
Oh,
Waden and Juniper do not have any mail. Right.
Would I be able to
Send.
send a letter?
Yeah, same.
Yes, you would be able to send a letter.
I just wanted to send a letter to Doc in Scarlet Pond, and maybe
Mhm.
more with a more detailed explanation of the location of the barge. Many apologies and thank yous, and just ensuring as much as I can from here that barge makes it back safely.
I'm just gonna send a letter to Mom and Dad saying, "Hi, Mom and Dad. I'm still safe. Hope you're still safe. How are the goats? How's my favorite sheep? Does anybody need some foreign crocheted stuff? Because I have found some new styles." Just a Fern letter.
Yeah, just a Fern letter.
Nice. I think I'm also gonna send one back home that's saying like, oh, I've been traveling with some companions. We made a little caravan together, and I've picked up some trade goods that I'm hoping to make my first big sale. It's gonna be really cool, I bet. Wishing you all the best. Hugin and
Yep.
Sven say hi.
Exactly.
There's
Right.
a little elk hoof print and a raven claw print.
That is adorable.
That's cute. I'm gonna send a letter to home. And
I
it
will
said,
point out one of the letters you have, like I said, I'll write out the full story for you. One of the letters you have is from home, so your kids.
Awesome.
And the other letter is from the person who sent you on your mission. But we will get to that
Perfect.
later.
Cool.
Hannah has a letter from her gal pal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Which is it has a little exactly. It's on kind of nicer paper than the other letters, like a little heavier and probably hand scooped. It has very nice flowy handwriting. And of course, she hopes you're well. You know, if you're dealing well alone with a certain undertone of, you know, you don't have to be alone. But if you want to be alone, that's okay. But you don't have to be. I'm just saying. And the rest of it's mainly gossip about weird things happening, about how there's been the sighting of a sea monster near Whitecap, how there's been a terrible, terrible scandal in Flower Bedford, how they've even heard rumors that people in Crystal Chime haven't been dreaming, and strange goings on in Liverfen, and just world gossip. She's surprisingly well informed for someone who doesn't usually leave Flower Bedford.
Tea is being spilled. I was gonna say that my letter is gonna be like a 2-page letter with like a paragraph for her dad and then both of her kids, and it's like a big paragraph. And whenever I find out the contents of the letter of the person who sent me on my way,
It's basically more options.
Interesting. I will just send a short, astute letter back of thank you on it. Done.
Perfect. So, rules as written, sending a sheet of paper to another city is 20 gold, which I don't like because I like my magical post office better, and I think more people should be writing to each other anyway. So I will make a single message sent 2 gold, regardless of how many pages you're making it.
Juniper, I gave you my last money because you had like a business opportunity. Can I have 2 gold to
yes,
send
no, for
letter
sure.
to my parents?
Yep. And that's gonna pay back in spades soon. Don't even worry about it.
Okay, but I just want to send a letter to my parents. They're really old.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I know this isn't the intent, but I swear the more Juniper interacts with different mercantile options, it just becomes more like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah,
Like
it's gonna pay off
fine.
real soon.
You just have
swear.
to put in more
So
money
well.
first.
Yeah,
You're
does
gonna get
anyone
so
want to
much money.
invest?
Just buy a starter kit.
If you get 5 more of your friends to sign up.
Look, these leggings sell themselves.
Oh no, not that.
Oh, Anik, please put in a legging selling opportunities.
Oh boy.
My God.
Public
Some
service
city.
announcement.
Or maybe some
if your
scented
friend ever
oils.
gets into
Look,
LuLaRoe.
different city, these people have these amazing aroma pots.
Yeah.
I will add, just for the purposes of Waden's letter, to Doc and folk to clear up things, I think Hannah would have wanted to just add 5 more of her gold just as an extra, like, we are sorry for
We're
being
so sorry.
We really are for adding more complications to this, because I feel like she tried to get along well enough with Doc and like the other, and the man who was riding the barge, riding the barge, he was helping lead the barge, so that's
Perfect.
5 more gold that I'm
Do we
marking
have
off for
enough?
mine.
Do we have enough money to like stay here instead of camping?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't have any.
for sure.
Oh, you're good. You're part of the caravan now.
Well, if I want to stay on the beach, nobody wants to stay on the beach. So if I want to stay in an inn, maybe I don't know.
Anna
It's just-
overhears this and she walks over to the innkeeper to ask exactly how much the price is.
So it depends a little. We have like the hostel set up where there's like 8 beds in a room, which is, you know, on the cheaper side. If you want a bigger, better, brighter, more private rooms, let me see what the book suggests, because I don't want to charge you too much.
For lodging, Squalor is 5, Basic is 20, Suite is 100, and Royal Suite is 1200.
Let's say basic if you're willing to go 2 to a room. And the hostel thing is nearly Squalor because it's literally 4 walls, a roof, and praying nobody there snores and everyone has showered in the last month.
Yeah,
Slept
no,
with
we're
ghosts,
getting
it's
private
fine.
story.
Or we can just buy out the whole hostel room if it has 8 beds. Then we have place to store our stuff. No, seriously,
The innkeeper does go
No.
also no animals indoors.
but she's
It's
a baby.
the new no. I'm sorry. It's a new rule. Unless you go to an inn on the other side of the line, I'm not allowed to have animals indoors.
Yeah, that's a yeah. I
Do they
But
would
the
like
line is
ask about
in
animals on
your
the other
inn.
side?
Can we not get a room on that side of the line?
I'm sorry. The way the line was drawn, all the rooms are on the non-animal side of the line, and the dining area is on the animal side of the line, which is why that man over there is having dinner with a duck.
What's the
Okay,
deal
we're
with
gonna
this
need more,
line, by the
yeah.
way? This is it's a cool local custom that I'm interested in knowing more about.
It is not a cool local custom. It is an absolute mess that started 4 months ago when we had the new election for our local representative who runs the town for a year. And there was a tie. And there was recount and it was still a tie. And then there was a revote and it was still a tie. So they decided to rule together, and within 2 weeks they were fighting so bad they decided to just each run half of the town.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Well, what's your other suggestion?
Well, did the
You can't
people?
go against the wishes of half the populace and only choose one of them.
Well, did the
No,
people
but
who
if they
voted?
can't get along, then there's this quaint little saying that maybe not translate. When 2 dogs fight over a bone, the third one gets it.
There was no third party in this year's election.
Maybe there should be.
I mean, it will be next year when we draw from the new pool of names.
Well, do the people who voted for each respective ruler live on their side of the line? I feel like that just makes things more complicated.
No. We just started at the road where town starts and just threw it straight across. My wife's on the other side of town. It's been very inconvenient. I have to feed all the cats.
Is there do you have to go through customs to cross the line? Is there some sort of
Customs.
This seems
Well, there's not so much customs or checkpoints. It's just that they both have people who support them, that if you have an animal on the non-animal side, the people who support them will report you and then you get a fine.
Is that
It's
the only
taking
legislative
very
difference?
unfortunate.
Is the only difference that animals are allowed on one and
Oh
not the
no,
other,
there's
or-
a lot of differences.
Oh
Do
boy.
you have a booklet?
No, I'm afraid
Yeah.
the rules tend to be a little arbitrary, and they tend to pass new decrees depending on what the other person decreed the week before, because they're just very reactionary. So when Maudlin decided animals were no longer allowed inside, Henyer decided that it's mandatory to keep your livestock under a roof at night.
Dear ma'am, did you say Maudlin?
I did. Maudlin runs the east side of town, and Henyer runs the west side of town.
And where do they have a town hall where they meet regularly, or do they live on opposite sides of town?
I mean, they used to use the meeting hall upstairs in my inn, because we're the central building. Welcome, by the way, to the Cornpipe Inn.
Oh.
I forget
Oh,
my manners.
thank you. Sorry.
It's been a very strange 4 months. I'm very sorry.
I get that.
The town hall has also been bisected, and the only stairs into the town hall are on Maudlin's side, so we haven't seen a lot of Henyer's people come to the town. It's been very complicated. There was at first there was a decree that Henyer made that everyone who had a grievance could go see their elected representative in person, but then they got flooded with people. So Maudlin said you have to make an appointment and wait 8 days, which Henyer took and made it 10 days. And that was like 2 months ago.
I suppose the object of my question is it possible for us to arrange some sort of meeting with either of these town leaders, preferably both, maybe? Might be easiest.
I suppose if you talk to their people and get an appointment for airing grievances. I'm not sure how other appointments work because their rulings were very unclear on this, because they can go see other people, but other people can't necessarily go see them. So are you taking the hostel room? Because there's also a law that I have to finish business before 10 in the evening, so as to preserve the quiet ocean town atmosphere, according to Maudlin.
Yeah, but short question. So if I want to keep my baby here, I have to have dinner here and sleep in another inn?
Or have dinner at the other inn as well, although I wouldn't recommend it. They're terrible at making food. They only started making food when we were no longer allowed to have animals inside, and they got the overflow. And I think they're having eggs today and not much else. But you can try.
No. A table for 5?
Sure.
And we'll
Not
take.
counting
I think
animals,
we'll take the
we'll also
room.
have a couple of
No,
animals.
but I can't leave Fern. She's
Clover.
only a baby. So I can't leave Clover. She's only a baby.
I can't. I'm sorry, ma'am. If you're caught with that goat, I get a fine and you get a fine.
No. That's why we're eating here, and then we're going to the other inn. I'm so sorry. I would have given you my patronage, but she's a baby.
No, but you also can't have the goat. Okay, if you sit next to the man with ducks,
Yes.
that's the animal allowed
We're gonna
area.
eat on the animal side.
Okay, but no smoking.
I
I
wasn't
think
going
we're
to.
good there.
Perfect. So you get this big blocky table that's clearly 2 tables pushed together that are not exactly the right size because the tablecloth has this annoying indent and one of the tables is a little wobbly.
We've all been there.
Excuse me, ma'am, does your goat need a high chair?
No. She'll be on my lap, but she would like no cabbage for her today. She's had enough.
We don't generally have cabbages, so that works out well.
Good.
The raven, anything in particular?
What do ravens eat? I don't actually know.
Crustaceans.
Seeds and bugs.
And crustaceans.
I'm afraid your elk is too large
Fit inside,
for
yeah.
the general
He can-
area here.
He can stand outside the window and put his head in.
I mean, that's a work, sure.
All right, let's
Sven
do
is
it.
part of the family.
Yes.
Lady, I just served a man eating with his duck. I'm well past judgment, and I just need enough money to make it through whatever this year's going to throw at me.
You get
That's- Understandable.
Honey, I would just like to state that I respect you so much as a GM after this past 15 minutes. This is some of the most glorious mess of a world building I have ever seen.
I have
Tino's
to
journey.
ask. I have to ask, is there a table that has a yellow line across it? Like, just through the middle?
No, there's a table that had, okay, so the table that had the middle line across from it sort of got sneakily pulled into the dining hall, rotated 45 degrees, and has this suspiciously new doily on it.
Order, because I have to ask, because I just felt the spirit of Ulfrig from our Discord overtake us. Is there a goose anywhere?
The goose is only allowed in when the ducks aren't here because they really don't like each other.
Okay, just double checking.
The goose does lunch.
Goose does.
Sometimes breakfast if there's mimosas.
I just served a man eating with his duck, and the goose does lunch. I love tabletop role-playing games so much.
Also, welcome to the inside of my brain. This is apparently what happens when I don't prepare.
I love you. I stand by my statement. I respect you so much.
And this is why she has been my friend for all these years. She's delightfully weird.
If at all possible, I want to try to find out. I assume are we taking the room with the 8 beds?
What would the
Just
plan
all of
be?
us?
I think that's what started this whole thread. Was what?
No, we're eating here, and we're sleeping at the other inn because Clover cannot be in, outside. She is a baby.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, then I do still want to try to find out who I'm supposed to talk to get an appointment with Madeline. Because I guess we need to schedule that now so that we can talk to them a week and a half from now.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's gonna take 8 days for us to get an appointment. I don't think we have that time.
While the food's being served, the innkeeper, whose name no one asked, by the way,
Yep.
who is fairly tall man, very dark-skinned, big shock of black hair. He sort of leans over while he's serving Clover this plate of carrots and boiled potatoes and just everything that isn't cabbage. Also no meat, because he assumes she's a vegetarian. He just sort of leans over and looks at Lily and goes, I don't know, it's 8 days if you want to air grievances. Like I said, I'm not sure how their current policies work towards other kinds of appointments.
I mean, here's the thing. We can make an appointment to air grievances and then not air grievances.
Well, or you could try to make an appointment not to air grievances and not wait 8 days.
This is what a clue
if they'll see us sooner, I would absolutely. Yeah, if they'll see us sooner, I would be happy to make that appointment. I just need to know who to talk to.
Good.
Look, I doubt it, but there's always a try.
Emissaries and trade negotiations and things. I don't know.
We're here on official business.
Yeah, official. That's the word.
I am indeed here on official business. I am here on official business. I'm here on official business.
Are you okay, Lily?
Fine.
You seem a bit like.
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
I mean, I know I was being grumpy, but I hope
No, it's not
mad
you.
At me.
No, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at.
But what are you mad at?
I'm mad at the world.
Why?
Because sometimes the world is very frustrating.
Yeah, but now it's delightfully weird, and we get to eat with the animals. And what are we eating, actually? Hi, sorry, what was your name?
Mine. As he comes out with these giant plates, you're getting basically steak and kidney pie, basically. Unless you specifically stated you don't want to eat organs, in which case you get a beef and beer pie. Either way, it's meat and puff pastry and just so many spices, and it's actually really good. You're pretty sure you made the right choice in eating here and not at the unnamed other inn.
Thank you so much.
As he serves, well, my name's Saul.
Saul. Yeah, well, you know our names because you checked our mail. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just sorry you and your little or
Clover.
big.
Her name's Clover.
I was about to say little buddies, and then I remembered the elk, and it seemed a little exclusionary.
Yeah. No, but Sven can stay outside. He's a big boy.
I'm feeding Sven some of my pie. Do elk eat meat? No.
I'm pretty sure they provided it's pre-cut. They can
Probably can.
They can eat it.
Also, Clover is not finishing her plate, so he can have some.
Clover has on those vegetable grazing plates, like bits of cauliflower, bits of carrot, bits of everything.
What we're discovering throughout this campaign is who knows how to interact with animals and what they eat, and who has no idea whatsoever.
And the ones who have no idea are the ones who have
biomedical
pets.
sciences. Like if it didn't involve plants, I would have studied biology.
That's amazing.
But you love plants.
I love keeping plants. I don't love learning about them. Screw their taxonomy and their difficult leaves.
Truth.
So
Someone
are
in
we
chat,
staying
please,
the night?
please clip that just tiny segment of screw their taxonomy. This is what you truly all came here for adorable, heartfelt, heartwarming moments and the occasional exclamation of screw plant taxonomy.
And saving the day by crochet. That
Yep.
too.
That was really
Wholesome cruelty. Anyway.
So
You're
we're trying to get
happily-
a place to stay, and then also to make an appointment with someone, a representative.
If we can get those 2 things done, I think we can turn in for the night. Because business ends at 10 p.m., so we should probably...
Oh, but
On
that's
this
only
side of
on
the
this
line.
side.
Oh.
Goodness.
Well, I don't know which
Fern
side of
is
the line we're
actually
going to make
okay
an
with this.
appointment.
Fern totally understands. There are rules, and they're different on one side and on the line on the other.
Important question, because I don't think we actually got it addressed because we were still trying to figure out the room when this whole conversation thread started. How much are we paying for this room? We never actually got the price.
We're
No,
not paying
you-
for the room. We're not
you're
staying
not paying for the-
here.
right.
We're
No,
going
I
to
mean,
the
for
other
room that
end.
we're going to. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
we
We
don't
don't
know
know. We're
that
gonna
yet.
see.
Well-
We still have to go there after
You
the
do
dinner.
still have to pay for the meal,
Yes.
Right.
Finish our meal. and
which
then
is 5
order.
gold a person.
It was
Okay.
really delicious food.
And I'll pay for
Animals
Fern's
eat
food
free.
because you
I
lent
have
me
a
the money
question.
earlier.
Yes.
On whose side of the line are we right now?
The animals allowed side was Henier's side. Maudlin is the animal-free area. So you're currently on Henier's side.
I think I am on Henier's side actually, because why would you not want to have your animal?
Yeah, you would vote Henier. Okay.
I don't know if I would vote. It's like you. He said that you have to keep your animals indoors, but some animals just don't enjoy that.
He specifically said livestock was kept indoors.
Yeah, but some of them don't want to.
No, but
Maybe
like
you've got
at least nobody's out there catching seagulls to make them sleep inside at night.
No, okay,
Fair.
but some pigs
Which
just want to
is
sleep
something
on
I briefly considered making them do.
But if there's a pig that wants to sleep under the stars, he should be able to.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, then he can go to Maudlin's side.
Then he never gets to be.
Just gonna make a very quick note here to say that Anna would very sheepishly read over the letter and then she would write one back as well. Because I've marked off the gold for sending that letter, so I just want it known to our GM that I did that. And it's
It's been
probably big, like red blushy cheeks the entire time she's writing it, and that's visible to anyone noticing her writing it.
Ooh, cute.
Just a pair of lesbians just trying to admit they like each other, and none of them wants to
Look,
make the first
she's
move.
not saying she's not saying she likes you, but if you're saying you like her, she's not saying she's opposed, but she's not going to say anything first because but you know, if you want to, maybe you could.
So definitely
Those-
lesbians.
Yes, so yes.
Definitely.
Try. So this is
From the non-bisexual erasure committee, Hannah did love her husband as well, right?
No,
So-
she,
Oh, yeah.
She uses both personally, the player and the character use the terms interchangeably.
Good to know because
Yes, I am noting
Yeah.
that for the record. She very
Thank
much
you.
was like, she's not faking the whole like
no,
secretly she hated her husband or any of that, or
no,
like,
no.
I planned his death or something like. And there's no sinister undertone to that note. That's
will
that's
point
more a
out-
habit of mine.
I will point out the pen pal, gal pal, never had a husband.
Oh, she can be lesbian, but I thought Hannah.
Okay,
liked-
now hearing that, I as a player and my player character will now take a deep breath in lesbian and then carry on with
Very good.
yes.
You know, it just never happened.
It just never happened because neither
Just
of us
never happened.
make the first move.
No.
When these things happen. So anyway, delightful lesbian feelings during dinner aside.
I just turn to Waden and I say, "Hey, so that appointment with the representative, how about you handle that?"
I could definitely arrange and spearhead that effort for sure as soon as
Awesome.
everything's
No, I don't
taken care
have
of.
to.
If you'd like to be in attendance, I'd be happy to have you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go with you, Waden.
Okay.
Good idea, Juniper. You are probably way more well versed than me, and not as angry.
Well, we'll see
I
about
just
that.
want to see you foam at the mouth again.
Lily, why are you angry? You've never been here before.
No, I'm not. No.
Well, you are angry.
Well, I'm not that angry anymore. But keep going. I will get angry.
Well, ideally, I mean, it's likely that we find what we're looking for here. So hopefully, talking with Madeline could clear things up.
And I'm writing myself a note. And just to be clear, we're looking for the genealogy of the royal family to try and find the lost princess, who is maybe the farmer we were just talking to last time, right?
We're looking,
Caitlin.
yes, for a Caitlin, who is the great-granddaughter of Kayla Hopesinger.
Look.
Caitlin. One of the Caitlins.
Look, if the
Who
appointment
maybe.
is made, I will be at the appointment and tell everything that they need to know and whatever. I'll be there at the appointment, but at the making of the appointment, I'll not be there.
That is
Okay.
absolutely okay. I would appreciate you there for the
Awesome.
meeting, both for solidarity and clarification and anything
Sal?
else I can handle for you.
One moment. He's helping someone check their mail. Calm down over. Yes. Fern.
Is there a spa in this town?
No. I'm afraid we don't really have a spa. We have someone who does hot stone massages,
Oh, okay, cool.
but like no mud pools, baths,
no,
or steaming.
but I think that's fine. On what side of the line do I find them?
They'd be on Madeline's side of the line.
Thank you.
They
Really?
were
East.
they were half and half, but they figured it was easier. They don't have animals, so they figured it was easier to move across because Madeline has more lax business hours.
So they get to be on a later time. Okay. Could you like draw me a map how I can get there? Because I think my friend really needs a massage.
Certainly.
Lily is
I-
completely oblivious. She's like,
What does a massage cost around?
It depends on how long and if you want the hot stones and the oils and things. I never go. Have a wife to massage me. In general, somewhere between 2 and 10 gold, depending on
Okay.
how long and fancy, I guess.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know.
Oh, and Sal, do you know anyone in the town who might be interested in a fantastic business opportunity? And she goes on to describe the cargo
The
that
softest
they have brought.
leggings I've ever felt, you say?
They flatter
And I-
anyone?
And makeup that matches my skin tone? That is so unusual. Normally they only have the light shades.
Mhm.
I spend a lot of time hating on MLMs. I'm very sorry.
I mean, it's
No, you're
the
not.
right
Don't be
thing to do.
sorry about it. They deserve it.
I fucking suck.
Okay.
I mean, we have the local general store that also does arts and goods. Selka runs it.
Great. If you could just point that out on the map, I would be much obliged.
Will do. I don't have the map uploaded because I still needed to draw the line across.
It's fine if you say we know where it is. Then
You
Yeah.
know where it is, and I will have the map for you before next week.
Sounds good.
Any quick point of just order. Caitlin Hope Singer is the one we're trying to find, but the Caitlin that we found was using has a different last name. Sorry, I almost
Yes.
said using a different last name, which implies something different.
Paddyfoot.
The Caitlin that we found, what was the last name that she gave? Because I had it in my notes.
Paddyfoot.
Pattyfoot.
It was something.
And the thing about you're looking for Caitlin Hopesinger, considering the fact that the lost descendant probably doesn't know they're the lost descendant, the chances that they're actually using the last name Hopesingers are zero.
Unlikely. Yeah.
Right. I just wanted it just for clarification on my notes. Like that's the
She as far as she knows, her last name is Pattyfoot.
Pattyfoot. Got it.
Juniper, I need 10 more gold.
Oh yeah, I've got you. We're good.
Okay, because I found a place where they can like massage Lily and make her a little bit just and they said it was like between 2 and 10 gold, and I want to get her like the deluxe package because she's like really cranky and a bit scary.
Oh, well, she's nice enough once you get to know her.
Yeah, no, usually she is, but right now she's not.
Well, I'm sure it'll all work out. Let me.
Yes,
I'll
that's why I
I'll
wanna
get you
give her
back
the
with that 10 once I'm a little more liquid and just probably tomorrow.
Liquid.
I am going to walk over to Waden. Waden, do you have like 10 gold? Because I have to buy Lily a massage because she really needs it.
Oh, absolutely. And I try to be discreet about my large coin purse.
Sack of cash.
But it's really, I'm not good at being discreet, and I'll get 10 gold out.
Saddened you didn't use the term bulging, but you know,
bulging
you.
sack of.
I was trying to stay wholesome.
I know. That's not what happens here.
No. If one has a bulging sack of cash, one flaunts the bulging.
So I do like how they're like treating each other to massages, because I'm pretty sure Lily paid for Waden's spa day without Waden
that's
noticing.
right. I forgot about that.
And now Fern's making Waden pay for Lily's massage.
Easy enough. 10 gold.
Like the circle has been completed.
Okay, guys. Can you go like make sure we have a room to stay in? I have to. Lily, I need your help. It's really important.
Yeah,
Come.
sure. Okay.
So I'm physically dragging Lily to the massage parlor.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to, when we're in front of the door, I'm going to say, okay, I know you're going to be grumpy about this, and I'm not taking no for an answer because I already didn't get my beach day. So you're going to do this for me, and you're going to like it. And you're going to have a hot stone massage, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm paying. Hi, this is my friend Lily. This is 10 gold. She's stressed. Help.
Alright, so I'm hearing hot stones with the essential oil package for aromatherapy.
If that's the best you have against stress, please do.
Alright, thank you.
And approach carefully. She's very grumpy. Bye, Lily.
We're quite used to dealing with.
I'm already walking.
As he says, we're used to dealing with. And you're walking outside. You suddenly catch sight of this little sign next to the door that's been. It probably used to be like outside, and it's been removed from the wall, and it's now inside. And it just says Bark Avenue. And you have the feeling this used to be something a little more pet related. That has very quickly rebranded when they ended up on the model inside of the line.
Oh no! That's kind of sad, but also so great.
It's a spa where they can give you shampoo for fleas.
It's a doggy spa.
Yes, basically.
Anyway,
It's gonna be amazing.
When Fern like walks away, and I was saying to her like, "I'm not," and then I turned to the person. I'm not grumpy. It's fine. It's fine.
Is this your relaxed state? Because that's worrisome. Did you know that high blood pressure has a number of ill benefits for your health?
What? I don't care. Nor do
I
I.
really think you should go back there and, like, you don't even have to get naked or anything, but at least let us help you. Just do the aromatherapy part if you don't want to have the massage.
Look, I'll have the massage and the aromatherapy. Are you happy?
I mean, yeah, that works for us.
Okay. Just do it. It's fine. It's fine.
And the poor masseuse gives the most grumpy massage. Well, actually, that's probably not true. Considering what's happening in this town, you're probably not the worst off they've seen in recent weeks.
Wow.
And Fern will use the map and walk like 5 times the wrong way, but we'll find the other end.
We'll find her way back. I think this is as good a time as any to stop as we pan away from Fern, holding the map upside down, already facing the inn she's looking for, completely unaware of what is going on around her, while Lily is on a table getting hot stones put on her, angrily ranting about farmers in general, and one in particular. As Hana somehow ended up with Clover.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, no one, like, that whole thing just happened, so I think it's just maybe me, Waden, and Juniper who are actually tasked to go look at the room, but, like, we also got left with, I don't know if Clover went with...
No, Clover comes with me, especially
Oh, she's in
town.
the baby Bjorn?
Yeah, she's in my backpack, you know?
Alright, then you're just left with Hugin, Sven, and Sal, who goes, Did they not like the food or something? Because that's a storm out if I ever saw one.
You have to understand, our friend is very excitable. And very, very much when she gets something in her mind, she will do it. And it's possibly her best quality.
Alright.
Good save.
Good save. I think we'll leave it there.
I do bittersweet compliments very well. It starts as though it's going to be insulting, and I end on a nice note. This is how
I'm really good at the
other way
other
around.
ones. Yeah, the ones that feel like a compliment, and half an hour later you're like, that wasn't a compliment.
Oh, those are poisonous compliments.
Jellyfish.
Those are a separate. Yes, they're the jellyfish compliments. They're part of the skill tree.
Oh, I took ranks in those.
Yeah. I used to have a league with a colleague of mine. That daily we would try and hurt each other the most by being nice.
That's healthy. So, shall we finish up for tonight?
Yes.
All right, let's go around and say goodbye, and we'll go counterclockwise this time and start with Michael.
I am Michael. I am at Michael Elliott on Twitter and Instagram and everything. You can see it on the screen on how to spell it. I also stream on Twitch as Admiral_effort. I recently got the itch.io huge giant bundle of games that they did in support for Black Lives Matter and the Veil Project and all that stuff, so I have a lot of content to get through. So hopefully catch me doing that in the coming weeks.
All right. Thank you very much. Alex, we'll have your Twitter handle fixed on the overlay for next week. I just didn't think to change it until like 5 minutes after we started this week.
Yeah, it looks like there are actually 11 hours left to get the itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality. You can get my 2 games in there, Dragon Hearts, the dragon romance game, and With These Phantom Hands, the game of being a confused ghost trying to find out what happened to you. And that is a really great project to support. You get all sorts of really nice stuff in there. And of course you can give even more than $5. They've raised $7.3 million right now, which is really cool. And you can also find me on Twitter at @AFractalDragon.
Thank you very much. Lana.
I actually bought that bundle for my husband this morning, so yeah, please do. For the next 11 hours still possible. You can find my Twitter right here. It's very political right now because I'm very annoyed at white people stopping being political right now, so I'm doing double, I guess. So if you think that's annoying, don't follow me, and if you like that kind of thing, come on over.
Thank you. Ines.
Hello there, it's me, your friend Ines. Let's see. You can find me everywhere at Ines666 or put an underscore behind that and you'll find me. Let's see. So my Twitter is also very political, all that stuff, and also the random thoughts that pop up into my brain. And then also my Twitch. I have been trying desperately to come back and failing, but I promise you, we'll get back to it someday. Other than that, let's see, support the Bill Project. Happy Pride Month. That's still a thing. Black Lives Matter. Black Trans Lives Matter. I love you all, and please stay safe and wash your hands. Corona is still a thing. Wear a mask. We love you. Stay safe.
Thank you very much. As someone who finished sewing 11 face masks today, yes, wear a mask. They help. Angela.
I just want to add a last note in relation to Alex's ghost game that I had the hilarious thought of a ghost trying to figure out who they are, and they realize they're William Shatner, and the players' movements just become more Shatner, and as they slowly discover who they were. So
That is distinctly possible.
So, adding that thought into the ether, because you all deserve to have that thought as much as I have that now. I'm Angela, otherwise known as Phoenix24Fem on Twitter, or the Philosophym on Patreon, where I'm a poet, a writer on mostly disability, trans, and trauma processing sort of issues, especially as a survivor of assault, abuse, a bunch of other things, and unfortunate sort of stuff. I'm one half of the Queerly Yours relationship podcast. We've been on a hiatus for a bit, but I think we're probably going to have some time to talk about issues, more topics we've been wanting to get into and start up again as a both trans, polyamorous, interracial couple who have done things like done long distance for like 3+ years, and now we're living with each other and all that kind of stuff, and processing a whole bunch of different experiences in our life and such, even including things around mental health. You can also catch me on Sundays as the GM in the Monte Cook Games Numenera system in a homebrew world called Erovin, where last night my players just had 45 minutes straight of just existential realizations and revelations about the nature of reality and the previous cycle of the world, because that's my brand. It's what I do a lot of, apparently. Wholesome food and existential angst and like really, really queer feelings. That's my brand, pretty much. That's all you can always find on my Twitter as well, and in a lot of the games and spaces I do. So that, I think, is all of me. Yeah. As always, I'm very grateful to this group. Pay attention in politics. Don't lose sight and lose track of things just because some of the timeline on Twitter and other spots is either intentionally or unintentionally choosing to focus on other things. There's still stuff going on. There's still protests going on that have been ongoing, and marches that have been staggering that I never thought would ever be happening in my life, let alone multiple different times throughout my life. So pay attention. However much the media is trying to hide what is going on about the world, people are fighting. There are new hopes being made for different, better worlds, as overwhelmingly crushing as it can feel like to be in the world that we're in now. There's always the possibility to have and dream better. That's the joy of doing things like building worlds that are silly and wholesome, but also imagining otherwise. They're hopeful. They give hope. They bring hope. And you got to be optimistic, at least a little bit at the time. Despair only gets you so far.
Thank you, Angela.
You're so inspirational. Thank you so much.
I was gonna say, I think I'm just not gonna go into what's going on in the world because I am a pessimistic cynic. So let's leave it at your words of hope. I am on Twitter at Anixter. I sometimes forget about Twitter for many days on end until I log in and I have like 100 notifications and I'm like, oh right, this existed. So, occasionally I'm on there and I share stuff. I play games. I paint things.
She does commissions and they're beautiful.
Also true. I just finished my last commission. I have slots open. We still support if you don't want to buy way too many games that make you feel guilty for having too many games you never play. I'm looking at my humble bundles. You can just donate without buying a ton of games. I mean, they're really good. I mean, there's also a bunch I've already played, like The White Door and the witchy platformer game. But if you don't want to have even more games, that make you feel bad for not playing all the games in your inventory, because I'm one of those people. I feel bad for my library for not playing the games I buy. You can just donate to the Bill Project with the little red donate button. Actually, it's a really big red donate button right underneath our video here. And then you don't get any games, but you do get the feeling that you're helping people, which is very nice. We will be raiding Plastic Cage Plays. And later tonight on this channel, we will have another side quests who are no longer playing Star Wars, so yay them. They've joined the light side. Maybe one day they'll play Star Trek, like proper nerds.
Point of order, it should
Nope,
be noted. We
nope.
have a charity thing that was nothing but Star Trek.
That's good. That's very nice. I mean, it's like Star Trek, Stargate, Star Wars. That's roughly where everything goes.
What about
Now that's where I'm
Farscape?
going to agree.
We would like to keep our viewers, so we're going to raid now.
No, because the raid command didn't work, so I'm stalling. Let me stall.
Yes, but please, if you like Star Wars, that's allowed.
It's allowed.
I mean,
it's just not the best one of the star-related options.
Oh my god.
it is true. It is true, but still.
We understand a multiplicity of opinions here, and we understand if, in Anik's judgment, your opinion is wrong.
Yes, you are entitled to being wrong. Okay, I'm just saying, it's fine. We don't love you any less. We're just judging you more.
I mean,
Anik
Stargate Atlantis has a young Jason Momoa. I mean,
I know.
That's why I'm saying it's
What you
Stargate.
need in your
then
life.
Star-
Also, the original Stargate has basically MacGyver in space.
and also the what's he called? The James
Teal'c.
Spader. James Spader as a
We are
nerd.
beginning to raid, y'all.
Hey!
Are we finally? Is it working? Are we
Yes,
ready?
it's
Oh, okay. It's a difference in the
Really?
accounts.
Everyone.
Wait, what? Okay, bye.
Bye, guys. See you next week. Farewell.
Thanks, everyone.
How to stall? Start a fight about Star Wars.
For real?
Hold on.
No?
I still see us.
Give it a sec. It does show the
Revoking,
raid
is this-
command, so we are heading
Okay.
over shortly. It's not like mine where it never does it.
What's the thing about it in the DM session?
It's
thing?
supposed to take like 10 seconds. So.
Yes. So, Stargate Atlantis. Yeah, kind of bad, but Jason Momoa. Normal Stargate, like a few seasons was fun, but after that I just got
I
bored.
don't think we have switched over.
No, I know. That's why I'm talking about Stargate.
I
I mean,
couldn't
once
tell.
we got to Thor being a tiny gray alien, they had me. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, it looks like
Guardians.
it's counting down. We'll be leaving soon.
that's
Soon.
true.
I've heard this before.
I need
So-
to
Tell
just.
them soon.
I have to
Just-
make sure I don't
just
stop the
escape
stream,
from her.
otherwise it stops the
I
raid.
just escaped from a Klingon battlecruiser by blowing up the cloaking emitter with a Targ in a suicide bombing vest. Play
Also,
Star Trek. Play
she,
Star Trek.
she divorced her Klingon wife by transporting spit onto
Over
her face.